registration of interpreters, if you read the first clause there, is about a in the prescribed manner.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is a function of the council which should have come under 5C, where you are talking about functions of provisions, because you say in the prescribed, all this information now becomes Schedule A or Schedule B or whatever schedule, or they can be relegated to a regulation. Instead of putting all these things into the main board neatly, we would have just created a schedule on what it requires for you to be registered as an interpreter, the qualification, and all the council. And you put it under probably 5C K or 5CA. And then we would have from the lawyers and the drafters that are in the house. I am happy to be guided. I am happy to be guided.
What I wanted to ask the member is, are you then proposing that you recommit, because I would have expected that you say that you're coming up with an amendment proposing that this be dropped and it be requisitions when I contributed. Maybe you will help the member by saying that I am putting a text for recommittal, that this be taken to the schedule.
The registration and regulate rules to be set on how the interpreters have to operate. So yes.
Move an amendment, a further amendment to this. And if the drafters are here could give me a text, I would move an amendment of the council. So it becomes a function of council. Then we do a schedule on what are the requirements of because I can see registration, you see, the registration, all these kind, qualifications, application for registration, all these details can just be put together into a schedule. I don't know, I need probably to consult, but I would like to move that amendment so that we make progress. I don't know what the other, be guided.
Yes, Ngusia.
Yes, thank you, Chair. And to add my point on what Owen Byers proposed, I'm just starting to support what he has said. I think it will reorganize the whole clause, Chair, so I support.
Yes, Ndikiri.
And Mr. Chair, before you load me down, because before you load that, we have already passed that clause. Because the brother that I follow who is retired the other day is a sign expert. He retired as a deputy teacher because we don't know the kind of population that we are talking to or which we need to provide the service. And that's why I was trying to have an understanding, and I've spoken to Mary and Umi, that and the function of the council. And that's exactly what the deputy majority leader is trying to say, that we can recommit that clause so that we bring in that very important function of the council. And I totally agree with the deputy majority leader. It is a very important thing that we can do. But again, remember, you are making this law for posterity. We don't have to go back again and be asked the question by telecommunication services providers, what are we dealing with? Mr. Chair, I think it's good because we are agreeing this is a very important bill. The voices that we have brought in, and I thank Mary is here and my senior Oluocha are here, that we don't omit some functions which we feel are very important.
Yes, Millie.
Mr. Speaker, I've heard what he's saying, but he's speaking to the issue of legislative elegance, not substance. And you are also speaking to legislative drafting style, philosophy, or preference. If you look at it, to prefer that we just put the principles and the values. But because of the history of what we've gone through in Kenya and what we know of Kenya, when we push things to regulations, they never come as you actually intended, so they are usually compromised. And so for me, it's not defective. If you look at even the National Land Commission and other bodies, the drafting is similar. In fact, I want to thank Honorable Rachel Nyamai for reminding me. It's very similar. So it's really not defective. Yeah, it doesn't harm the bill. Of course, the traditional legislative style that we are used to is more the minimalist, where you go for principle and put things in regulations or in a schedule. But as I had indicated, the challenge you face with that, especially when you are talking about marginalized and minority groups, people don't understand their issues. So when you leave to regulations, you find a person who doesn't understand, and they don't have the advantage of us debating here, representing the entire country, debating here. You'll have 5 people with biases doing their own thing, which will be totally different from what we intend. So I would want to encourage you that and even though I hear you very well, that we allow it to go as it is. It's not fatal. It's not defective.
The Honorable Mabona,
Yeah.
I'll give an opportunity also to our friend, our learned friend Oluoch. But before that, Mele Mabona, when you read the section 9, A, B, C, D, all the way I, it's not just registration. Probably the title here should have been part 4, registration and regulation, because the bulk of it is regulation. That you can do this, you can't do this, you can do this, you can't do this. It's not just, registration is a very straightforward thing. You have qualifications, the registering body itself, and the manner of registration. But here, it says a person who meets the requirements under this may apply. No, you see, you go on, and then it tells, as a person shall not provide. So it's regulations, it's the registration and regulation. But anyway, I would want to listen to Oluoch and then come back to you. Yes, this is the thing, but would you want to do the amendments now, or you want to pass it and then you come back for amendments?
That one, sorry, Chair, that's very simple. Doing further amendment by the mover, you just say that part 4 be further amended by providing in the title registration
And
regulation of sign language interpreters.
Yes.
And then we only provide that in writing and sign. We provide in writing and we sign. So I would,
Yes.
I can, as a co-sponsor, I can do that. That we move in the title of part 4 be further amended by providing registration and regulation of sign language interpreters.
I think that more or less satisfies your concerns. You raised a very pertinent thing,
Yes.
and I think it satisfies that.
Now, I think I want to, Millie Mabona is my senior in this house. And sometimes when she speaks, I listen. And I would like to, acknowledge her efficacy in law, and that. So I would like to say probably we adopt that.
Yes.
For now, and I also take advice from Oluoch. We can actually adopt it. But I still have my own misgivings. But for the purposes of the law, let's proceed. Let's proceed. But I would like also to recommit the one 8B. I would like to recommit. I don't know whether you allow me at this level, whether legislatively. Later we will recommit 8B.
Yes, Honorable Oluoch.
Chair.
For 8B. I do understand the transition that you mentioned, but what we're saying is that there is no, you see, the progressive, incremental manner in which law itself it comes into force is usually an administrative thing. For example, we have had the 2/3 thing in our constitution. And this constitution says shall. Shall means we must have it. But it's such an impossible thing that it takes time for these things to be actualized. You see what I mean? So I think, in my opinion, okay, let's watch.
I'm persuaded by what Honorable Millie has said,
Yes.
for one other reason, that, and I'll give an example. I've moved an amendment for the Basic Education Act for alternative provisions of basic education schools in informal settlements. And this category have perpetually been discriminated because they were operating under some regulations, which under legal notice were never put into place. The effect of that was that there was no budget, the issues to regulations, which will never be implemented.
Yes.
So I'm persuaded that we let even the overprescription, so long as it is not defective in drafting,
Okay.
we go by Millie's. I propose.
Which I put. Yeah, would you want to, yes.
Thank you very much, Chairman.
This is going to the committee.
Chair, I would like to agree with the... I first of all thank the Majority Leader because he has agreed that we proceed the way the Honorable Millie Odhiambo is suggesting, Odhiambo Mabona. Chair, it's better to over-legislate than to under-legislate.
Absolutely.
And especially on this matter that concerns the deaf and the blind. I think we would rather do the best that we can so that they are able to benefit from information sharing in this country. And Honorable Speaker, I've just looked at the whole write-up, and it concerns continuous learning, how much these people should be paid, how the register, who tried to interpret for us, or rather for the people who could not, for the deaf, in an event that was political. And the way she was swinging and like dancing, she was doing it in a way that you think that this should have been done earlier. Because I believe that this act will, if this bill will distract the people, such that instead of focusing on the message, they focus on you. So, Honorable Chair, I would like to say that this is too important to be left. The way it is in the one for engineers, it is also in the Act, so it is better we overdo than we underdo. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable members, I now put the question. 9E, 9F, 9G, 9H, 9I, and 9J be read a second time. Honorable members, I now put the question that new clauses 9A, 9B, 9C, 9D, 9F, 9E, 9F, 9G, 9H, 9I, and 9J. The ayes have it. I now propose the question that new clauses 9A, 9B, 9C, 9D, 9E, 9F, 9G, 9H, 9I, and 9J be part of the bill. Without this amendment. Yeah. Honorable members, I now put the question that the new clauses 9A, 9B, 9C, 9D, 9E, 9F, 9G, 9H, 9I, and 9J be part of the bill. Will as many have said that question? Will as many have to say aye? Will as many of the contrary say nay? The ayes have it.
New part 4.
How do we get this? No. Honorable Member Millie, can you move the amendment? The title which you have already has been approved, yeah. Which is registration and regulation.
Which part is it again?
Just the title. Be amended. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I move that the amendment of the new Part 4 be further amended by providing that by deleting it and
The title.
replacing with the title, by deleting and replacing with the registration and regulation of sign language interpreters.
Honorable members, I now propose the question that the title be amended by deleting the current one and inserting, what is it? Registration and regulation of sign language interpreters. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 4, part 4, be amended, the title of part 4 be amended to read the registration and regulation of sign language interpreters. Will as many of the opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
New clause 16A, new clause 16B, new clause 16C, new clause 16D, and new clause 16E.
The movers, any of you can move the justification of the new clauses for the second reading.
Honorable Chair, I beg to move that new clauses 16A, 16B, 16C, 16D, and 16E be now read a second time. This is to justify the sources of funds for the council.
New clauses 16A, 16B, 16C, 16D, and 16E be now read a second time. Honorable members, I now put the question that new clauses 16A, 16B, 16C, 16D, and 16E be now read a second time. Will as many of the opinion say aye? Will as many of the honorable members, I propose the question that new clauses 16A, 16B, 16C, 16D, and 16E be part of the bill. Honorable members, I now put the question that new clauses 16A, 16B, 16C, 16D, and 16E be part of the bill. Will as many of the opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
New part 6, a proposed miscellaneous provisions.
Mover. Give her the mic. Give the honorable member the mic.
I beg.
I now propose the question that the bill be amended by inserting the following heading immediately before clause 17. Part 4, miscellaneous provisions. I now put the question. Part 6, miscellaneous provisions. The ayes have it. The new schedule.
That the new schedule be part of the bill.
No, be read a second time.
I propose that the new schedule be read a second time.
Okay, give the justification. Give the justification, Omol Khair, why it should be read a second time, the new schedule. Why did you change it? Where's the new schedule?
The new schedule gives us provisions for the conduct of business and the affairs of the council.
And it wasn't there before.
It wasn't considered in the initial.
Honorable members, I now propose the question that the new schedule be read a second time. Honorable members, I now put the question that the new schedule be read a second time. Will the men of the opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will the men of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, I propose that the new schedule be part of the bill. Anybody who wants to contribute? Honorable members, I now put the... You want to contribute? Honorable members, I now put the question that the new schedule be part of the bill. Will as many of the opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 2.
Honorable members, I propose that clause 2 be part of the bill. amendment by somebody has an amendment. Ummul Khair. For clause 2. You have an amendment. You have a proposed amendment. A, insertion of expression in the opening statement immediately after the word, acts, and all those. You don't have that material with you. You did ask for an amendment.
Clause 2. I beg to move that the clause be amended as it appears on the order paper.
Huh?
Is it?
We're waiting for the justification. Honorable Ummul Khair, have you got the order paper? Wait, you have the clause 2. You did seek an amendment for that and you gave the justification. You said insertion of an expression in the opening statement immediate after the word act, deletion and substitution, therefore, the definition of the term cabinet secretary, deletion and substitution, therefore, the definition of the term council, insertion of a new definition.
Yes.
Do you have it?
Yes, I do.
Give the justification for that.
I beg to move that the clause 2 be amended as it appears in the order paper. This is to justify and provide a definition of the term as used in the bill. The term, and to give clarity.
I now propose that clause 2 be amended as it appears in the order paper. Yes.
Chair, I'm looking at the definition of the word cabinet secretary in the bill, the original bill. Cabinet secretary means the cabinet secretary responsible for matters relating to education. The new definition is we are substituting that with means the cabinet secretary for the time being responsible for matters relating to the persons with disabilities. Now,
Yes.
This is where we need to find a balance. This is about sign language. It's about language. Okay.
So what did you agree?
Here, language is a subject matter within the purview of education. Of education. Although this education relates to the education of people with disability. But then the new definition we are giving for cabinet secretary is cabinet secretary for the time being responsible for matters relating to persons with disabilities. Now,
Which cabinet secretary?
we need to understand whether this is a bat, whether the bat is an animal or is a bird. And this is where we mess this bill. This is where we mess this, because currently we have a bill on disability. We have a bill on disability.
Under which ministry?
Which is actually under the ministry of those that are in charge of disability.
Which ministry?
So the ministry now under disability, whether we are doing either an legislation or we are putting it in the wrong hands, in the wrong place. Because can the minister, for the time being in charge of disabilities,
Gender and social protection.
yes, do things in the Ministry of Education?
Social protection.
So I would have loved to see the committee report. The committee report. And I would have also loved to see, were there any amendments from the committee? What did the committee say? Because this now, if you look at this bill and you look at the amendments that are here that my lady Ummul Khair is pursuing, this bill completely obliterates this bill, makes it completely different from this bill. And this is a Senate bill. This is a Senate bill. Having come from Senate to here, we gain concurrence, we pass. Of course, we are making amendments, which is our duty and our job. But these amendments are actually more than the contents of the bill. And I am afraid, I am very afraid, are we doing the right thing?
The question is it more appropriate to the Minister of Gender and Social Services or in education?
Is that we leave it under education. We do not change to ministry in charge of
Isn't education, Minister of Education already has hands
this
full?
is about language.
No, but it's also disability.
Yes.
It's also disability.
It transcends many things. You guys, we need to recommit the whole of this bill so that it is relooked at. Me,
Honorable Meli, from where I sit as a member of Parliament for the DAB, I think the Minister of Education already has got his hands full. And the Minister of Gender and Social, what do you call safety or whatever, social protection. This is a societal matter, and I think it wouldn't be in the best interest of the people who are affected for this to be lumped with the Minister of Education, which is already a very big thing.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, actually listening to Honorable Mzuri, not Honorable Mbaya, I'd want to say that I actually hear him. He's situated in gender, it becomes a disability issue. So it's actually a difficult thing. If we actually, the easier thing, it should be actually in two ministries. But the Ministry of Gender is already dealing with other components of disability. Social protection is dealing with issues of other aspects of disability. But because we want it to be revolutionary if it's situated in education. So I would want to agree with the majority leader that perhaps Honorable Umi can drop Cabinet Secretary for...
You just drop the amendment, that's all.
No, it's just because there are several. There are several, so she'll just drop the one on Cabinet Secretary.
Yes.
Yeah. But again, sometimes the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Yes. We have had situations where we have situated something in one ministry, and because it's experimental, it has not worked. Let's give it 3 years, 4 years under education. Yeah. If it's not working, Parliamentary is still here. We can still bring an amendment and put it in the proper, it's sort of like the way our women representatives have had a challenge with the issue of sanitary towels. Do we situate it in gender? Do we situate it in education? Because it's a cross-cutting issue. We want the girls to receive the pads, yet it's also a gender issue. So let's give it. I agree with the majority leader that we could try out education, and then later, if it doesn't work, we bring it back to
So you social. Move an amendment right now of dropping.
Yes, I would request my sister Honorable Umi to consider.
It will be entirely on the discretion of the two co-sponsors to drop or not to drop. But my view is that sign language, which is the basis of this bill, is cross-cutting. It is an education matter, mainly affecting persons in school. But remember also, it affects people in workplace. We were just speaking about how we communicate in Parliament here. We were talking about how telecommunications stakeholders need to be able to ensure that people who are deaf and blind are able, and these deaf and blind people, they are not just in education. The practitioners and users of this bill, when implemented, by far supersede the confines of education. So my view is, if I were Umi, I would locate it in both. I would allow it to be under gender protection without necessarily removing it from education. Education would still be able to budget from it because the bill provides for obligations for persons who would be affected by this bill. But that is up to the mover and the sponsors.
The mover, Omulher.
Chair, I would be happy to drop the clause on cabinet so that we're able to leave it in education. I believe it's best if this particular bill stays in the Ministry of Education because we are looking at it from the argument of being a language bill and not a disability issue. If we confuse it with the Social Protection Ministry, then it will bring an overlap with the PWD Act that we just passed recently. So my request is that it remains in the Ministry of Education.
So you're dropping your proposed amendment for B?
For B, yes.
For B of clause 2, part B, yeah?
Yes.
No, only on the cabinet.
Clause,
Only
clause
on the
2B.
cabinet
Only
secretary,
on the
yes.
cabinet secretary.
This is
Okay,
clause
fair
2, clause 2B, yes.
Okay. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 2B be amended, be further amended as proposed by the honorable mover. Will as many as to say aye? Aye. Will as many as to say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, I now propose the question that clause. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 2 as amended, be part of the bill. Will as many as to say aye? Aye. Will as many as to say nay? The ayes have it.
Title.
Honorable members, I now propose the question the honorable members, I now propose the question that the title be the title of the bill. Honorable members, I now put the question that the title be the title of the bill. As many as to parents say aye. Aye. As many as the contrary parents say nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 1.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 1 be part of the bill. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 1 be part of the bill. Will as many of the parents say aye? Will as many of the contrary parents say nay? The ayes have it. The mover to move reporting. The honorable mover to move reporting. Do you have a form which is going to assist you in?
Before we go into reporting,
Yes.
can I? Okay, I'll do the committee. Okay, thank you.
Yes, proceed.
Honorable Chair, I beg to move that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Kenya Sign Language Bill, Senate Bill number 9 of 2023, and its approval thereof with amendments.
Honorable members, I now put the question, which is that the committee do report to the House its considerations of the Kenya Sign Language Bill, Senate Bill number 9 of 2023, and its approval thereof with amendments. Will as many of the parents say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary parents say nay? The ayes have it. Call the speaker.
Honorable members, Madam Speaker.
Chairperson.
Madam Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the whole House has considered the Kenya Sign Language Bill, Senate Bill number 9.
Wait until you get the mic, please.
Where is the mic? It's here.
Wait until you get the mic.
I have it.
Proceed.
Honorable Madam Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the House has considered the Kenya Sign Language Bill, Senate Bill number 9 of 2023, and approved the same with amendments.
Point of order.
Mover of the motion, Muher, Honorable Muher.
Mover of the bill to move agreement. Al Khair.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. I also request Honorable Irene Mayaka to second the motion for agreement with the report of the Committee of the whole House.
Honorable Irene Mayaka.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I second.
Thank you, honorable members. I now propose the question. which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. Yes, Majority Leader, Honorable Bai.
Move that the motion for agreement, the following clauses, Honorable Speaker, that we commit the new Part 2, new Clause 8B, new Clause 16, new Part 4, new Schedule, new Clause 2C. And, those parts, Speaker. And also would like to request the Honorable Ndikiri to second the motion. New Part 2, new Clause 8B, new Clause 16, new Part 4, new Schedule, new Clause 2C. And I would like to say that I have looked at the committee report. That's my Speaker. I have looked at the committee report, which I'm holding here. And I'm looking at the new amendments, especially the new parts that have been included, the new clauses that have been put into this. It totally changes the bill. And because it totally changes the bill, we have a duty as we risk ridicule out there in court or any other place, but we need to relook at it. And because we have an opportunity, it is a Senate bill, we have an opportunity to sit down, relook at all these things, and realign them. Because if you look at this committee report, which Umulher has a lot of issues with the bill. And you can see that the committee report has things that are important we need to input. Okay. So I request that we agree to
I would like to give a chance to Seconder first. Member for Vuri.
Yes.
Honorable members, before anything else, I would like to propose the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report, subject to recommittal of the following clauses. New Part 2, new Clause 8B, new Clause 16, new Part 4, new Schedule, new Clause 2C. I can now encourage the points of order. I start with the leader, Honorable Millie Odhiambo Mabona.
Thank you. Madam Speaker, I want to just tell the majority leader that what he is doing is not in good faith. We have been consulting back and forth and agreeing, and we have actually we had agreed to recommit one station. It's not in good faith. That is not actually how people operate in this House. But over and above that, Madam Speaker, you keep referring to a committee report, saying the committee didn't agree. We know how people legislate in this House. We were doing the Fisheries Amendment Bill yesterday. The committee has its own amendments. If the committee didn't agree, where is the committee? Let's start from there. We don't even know which committee. Is it the committee for education or is it the one for social protection? Which one is it? Where are the amendments? You cannot have members sitting here from morning. Some of us were actually rushing through traffic, listening online. We hardly slept. We have come in the morning to do our work. The committee is not here. And then you are telling us that you are disagreeing because the committee disagrees. Where is the committee? I would want to encourage members to disagree with your recommittals. It's in very bad faith. Chair, it is in very bad faith. Let members reject. And in any event, this is not fatal. You have agreed, there were two bills. One was sponsored by Crystal Asige and one by Umi. And I advised them that merge the bills so that you have one bill. So yes, it's emanated from Senate, but it's the same bill that Umi did. So it's not just a Senate bill, so that we cloud members because some people don't like Senate. Me, I love Senate and I love National Assembly because we all do legislation. So let us not cloud members. Honorable member, I would urge you, we still have mediation if I were you, please correct what you have done and let us go to mediation for some of those issues when we have consulted. But this bill has been here for a long time. Where's the committee? Where are the amendments?
You've made
it's
your
not
point.
in good faith. It's not.
Leader, you have made your point. Yeah. No, you have a fresh point of order. You have a fresh. Yes. Go ahead, Wakil.
Honorable Speaker, and I want Honorable Bayer to listen. When you raise, I want Honorable Bayer to listen because he may need to respond. Honorable Speaker.
I'm not talking to the Honorable Bayer. You are addressing the House, so just continue.
Thank you. Speaker, the bill. That needs to be raised not at the committal stage when we have already called for the reporting. He needed to have raised in the third reading because it raises fundamental changes that would change the character. So I think raising it at this point agrees in bad faith. And secondly, Honorable Millie has said it is open to mediation. If we have done things that the Senate disagrees with, that is the reason why we have mediation. I would like to urge you to drop your recommittals and allow us to conclude this bill.
Can I, Majority Leader, can you allow me to just give a few, then I come to you? Oh, you want to drop? Oh. Let me give a chance to the Honorable Rahim Dawood, member for Imenti North. Don't be too harsh to the Majority Leader.
No, thank you. Madam Speaker, the majority has mentioned that the Senate has given what the bill was, we have changed it, but that is what happens because even my bill, which was here, went to the Senate. When it was amended, it was brought here. It's now in mediation. So what is the big deal about it? And the changes which the majority is saying, I do not think we need to take the Senate will, what has the Senate done and we change it. It doesn't make any sense to me. So majority withdraw.
The Honorable Irene Mayaka.
If she had not been married by now, probably I would be. I like her. I like her. I like her very much.
For sure something is out of order. The Honorable Farah Maalim. The Honorable Farah Maalim. Order, CNN, order. Order, CNN. No, take your seat. The Honorable Farah is on his feet and he's on a point of order. Proceed. And he's your senior. 5 terms in this house is not a joke, CNN.
Honorable Speaker, you notice he is resorting to going into the emotional and sentimental, what do you call, other side things. And giving an impression that if you come along with me, I want to go and he doesn't. Does he know whether Millie is available is or not? So Honorable Oyambaya, just drop your recommittals and amendments. Drop the amendments and we proceed. If you love us so much, drop the amendments.
The Honorable CNN, before we go back to the Honorable Bayer.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to ask whether it is good to sexually harass Millie. The remarks made by Owen Bayer, you are sexually harassing Mrs. Millie, and I think he needs to withdraw them immediately. They are not parliamentary.
The Honorable Millie, you have been mentioned too many times. Not to
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to thank the honorable members who are standing with me in supporting me when Honorable Bayer is saying that if I was not yet married. And I know it is in good way. 60 yonder, it is approaching. Yeah? If a man actually looks at you and thinks you are very beautiful, it is encouraging. So don't be too hard on him. It's a very encouraging thing. Being in menopause is not an easy thing. He will not marry me, but he says so because it's on a light note, he's not harassing me. If it was on a serious note, he would have seen me fire, see fire. He would have got fire, see fire.
Yes. So, honorable members, canter and banter is allowed in this house. I believe that the Honorable Bayer was just bringing some life into this debate. And now I can now seriously give you an opportunity. And interestingly, Millie doesn't mind. Millie doesn't mind what you said. And Millie, I must tell you that you look so good. Honorable Millie Odhiambo Mabona. You look good. You don't even look anything close to 60. So you are doing good.
Be on record that I would like to drop the recommittal so that we make progress. I also want to tell Millie, you know, petty jealousies from Farah, from CNN, will not discourage me. Will not discourage petty jealousies. So we would like to drop the commitment because I am encouraged by the fact that this will go into mediation. And therefore, at mediation, we'll find a balance so that we pass good law. I think I come from the perspective that I would like us to pass good law. And I do not want us to go into mediation where we have too much to mediate. I think we need to have parameters of mediation that are, you know, slim. But having said all that, I would like the attention of the... Yes, she's being a guide. Thank you very much.
Well, honorable members, you know it's not easy to legislate, and especially by young members like the Honorable Umuher. So, honorable members, bearing in mind that the majority leader has dropped the recommittal, I now put the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Mover.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the Kenya Sign Language Bill, Senate number 9 of 2023, be now read a third time. I also request Honorable Dawood to second.
Honorable Dawood.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I congratulate Honorable Umulkhair for taking this step, being a first-term member and a nominee. She has assisted in moving this bill. And Madam Speaker, it's very important for us to set up this sign language bill because a lot of people suffer out there without a lot of things being done. So with this bill, I hope we can institutionalize the council, sign language council, so that we can go forward giving the PWDs their due. Thank you, and I second.
Thank you. Honorable members, I now propose the question, which is that the sign language, I'll take that again. I now propose the question, which is that the Kenya Sign Language Bill, Senate Bill number 9 of 2023, be now read a third time. Will as many as... I can see many people want to comment. Let me start with the Honorable Mayaka.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I just wanted to add my voice to this particular very important piece of legislation. But first of all, congratulate my fellow nominated Member of Parliament, Honorable Umi, for the fantastic job. I was following while she was actually going through the third reading with the help of our mentor, the Honorable Millie Mabona. Congratulations for this piece of legislation, because the Kenya Sign Language is one of those things that has really been used. We see it on TV, we see it in public functions, we see various members of public who have gone through the lessons, who actually do this very noble job, but they've never had a situation where they have a professional association with the kind of work that they do. And so for this particular bill, and even the fact that it will now even encourage and have even more Kenyans actually take interest in studying this particular course of being Kenya Sign Language professionals, and also just to encourage and have accessibility for the deaf people in our community to be able to have access to this, so that they can be more prosperous and they can be more productive in the society. So, Honorable Speaker, once again, congratulations to Honorable Umi and Honorable Millie Mabona, and I support this bill. I thank you.
The Honorable Faramali.
Honorable Madam Speaker, I want to join my colleagues, and I want to commend the movers of this very, very good, well thought out bill. For the longest, people with many forms of disability in our country have not had the nation and Kenyans thinking about their welfare. 80% of the buildings in the country right now are not disability friendly. You can go to other parts of the world and you find that almost 100% is disability friendly. And I'm talking about public buildings. So this is going to go a long way, a very long way, in making sure that that very powerful sector of our society that has had the misfortune of living with some of these disabilities will be taken care of by the rest of us. So I congratulate the movers. I also congratulate the majority leader here who has added a lot of value into the bill. And I also encourage the Minister of Education in this case to create a specific dedicated department that has got its own separate vote that will be working on people with disability. And as Millie puts it, let us have a sign language interpreter every function there is. Any public function, if it's, let's lead the nation in that accommodation. I think even in our parliamentary proceedings, it would have been very good for somebody, the picture of somebody who is telling what Millie Odhiambo is saying. And people who cannot hear can watch exactly the proceedings and how you're talking out there. It's no longer like when me and her were in Parliament, more than a decade ago, and all the proceedings in Parliament used to be in the newspaper. So people who cannot hear would read the newspaper and see what she has said, because there was a whole caption on Parliament. It used to say, "Yesterday in Parliament." We don't have that these days. So it's important also for them to listen to parliamentarians as they deliberate on matters of national interest. So you can have somebody in our own national television here, the parliamentary press itself. You have somebody who is there and who is translating our contributions in sign language. So I think House, National Assembly, Senate, Parliament has to lead in this process. And let me tell you one thing. This might look like a very ambitious bill. This country is known for having extremely ambitious bills. We had the ban on smoking in public places. And everybody was wondering, how is it going to be enforced? And I think over 90% of Kenyans don't smoke now. This is a country where you enjoy sitting in public places without having to worry about somebody smoking next to you. And then came the issue of the plastic bags. And when it came to the smoking, I remember Charity Ngili were in Parliament with her, did such a fantastic job as a minister for health that time. And today we can boast as a country. You go to other countries and you find it difficult even to walk in their streets because everybody's smoking. And I'm talking about some of them which are first world. Here we are leaders in that side. I mean, in that particular.
I know you are very passionate on this subject. But
yes,
you know
yes.
It is
Now let me just finish.
Please limit your debate.
Yes. I'm limiting it. Issue of that. Even the Constitution that says that we have to have a certain gender balance in our Constitution, in the representations in Parliament, it's somewhere. We might not get it, but it is a good move in a sense, because we're able to bring in the other gender into the mainstream. That's why Emilia Mabona is doing what she's doing right now. The technicalities and the way to go about it, whether to constitutionalize it or not, is up for debate. But to have more women in Parliament is quite a very good thing. So thank you very much, Madam Speaker. And I want to thank the movers and everybody else who has contributed on this bill.
Thank you. We also thank you. You have also done a very good job as the chair in the third reading. The Honorable Millie, do you have an intervention or you have dropped?
No. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I just wanted to take this opportunity to congratulate Honorable Umi and Honorable Asige, who are the principal sponsors. And then, of course, Honorable Kamar was also a secondary sponsor in the Senate. It's a good bill, and it also shows that we are concerned and care for our people with who are I don't want to say disabled, but are differently abled. Madam Speaker, I have listened to what the majority leader has said, and I take my word seriously. We are going to meet after this, together with the sponsors, and find a way so that, because it's actually, I do understand even from where the primary sponsors are coming from, that on the one hand we are focusing on the issue of language, but on the other, when you are dealing harmonize either through mediation or bringing back this bill and amending, including an overhaul within 6 months, or with the special leave of the House, we can actually bring it before 6 months, but so long as we are agreed. So I think it's something that we can do and give the House a way forward so that we don't let our people with disabilities struggle and suffer because of our own defect. Otherwise, I congratulate Tumi. This was really wonderful, and keep it up. You make us proud. I've seen the young women who have come in this House, this 13th Parliament, who are nominated, are doing exceptionally well. And I want to say that I'm very proud. I'm very proud of you. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Baya.
I want to take this opportunity to thank Umi and Asige and all those people that have put together this bill. And I want to echo one of the things that Honorable Millie has said. You see, in this chamber, the younger legislators need to learn from veterans like Farah, like Umi, who has, there's no bill probably in this House that hasn't had the input of Millie Odhiambo. And legislation, being in Parliament is not just about representation and talking. We have a fundamental duty, legislation. And I want to say congratulations to Umi for actually taking that bit, that you can actually come with a bill, legislate, and move it forward and allow it to pass. I'm afraid sometimes that as we progress, the numbers of younger people who have come get diminished as we move to third reading. People love second reading. But when it comes to third reading, it's the old guards, myself, Millie, Farah, probably Muli, and young legislator like Mayaka, yes. Rendikiri is an old hag, doing very well. Actually, he sits here throughout third reading. And I think this is something that we need to teach young legislators. Let's take this House, let's make laws, let's put our brains into it. Let's have a bill having 120 amendments, because everybody's thinking different, so that we can enrich the legislation that is coming in. But I want to thank the ladies. I don't want to call them women, the ladies. I want to thank the ladies. The men have disappeared, but the ladies have stayed. So I want to ask the men, and I think I would need to call a men's conference. I need to call a men's conference. And we cannot allow this Parliament to be taken over by brilliant minds that we have from the women. Men have bigger minds, brilliant minds. And they need to bring them here so that we can input in the legislation of this country. I congratulate and say I support. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Speaker. I want to take this opportunity to thank the members who have come out to support this particular bill. I also want to appreciate the Kenya National Association for the Deaf for also taking part in the drafting and their contribution to this bill. My colleague, Senator Crystal Asige, who has been very supportive at the Senate, especially during the contributions and the passing of the bill, together with Senator Kamar. I also want to appreciate the stakeholders who took part in supporting this particular bill. Mr. Speaker, one of the dreams I had when I was nominated to this House is to bring a bill on Kenya Sign Language. I used to lobby the members of Parliament between 2018 up until 2022 without knowing I would ever have a chance to sit in this house. And I had sent this draft to so many members at that time. And I'm grateful to Allah because He gave me the opportunity to serve in this house and to see how far this bill has come. It's a passion project for me. It is a challenge that I've experienced firsthand because I deal with many, gone through the stages it has gone to. And we are here today, Mr. Speaker. I want to also inform the House that Kenya as a country will be among the 5 countries to have passed this bill. Other countries in Africa are yet to reach where we are today. South Africa recently passed Kenya Sign Language as part of its official language, Mr. Speaker. But Kenya in the 2010 Constitution recognized Sign Language as an official language. Today, the United Kingdom, New Zealand, and Kenya among the countries that will be having this bill if we pass this bill. So I urge the members, even as we go towards the end, please come out to support this bill because we will not only be supporting the deaf people in our community, but we will be putting this.
The Honorable Rindikiri, and then we will put Rindikiri.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
And don't take us
I really would like to take this opportunity to thank the movers and the support system led by our senior, Mary Mabona. Mr. Speaker, as I stand here, I am the patron of the PWDs in Meru County. This Friday, I'll be joining the teachers with disability of Meru County as they celebrate their formation of their association. Mr. Speaker, the immediate brother I follow is just retired, as I said earlier. He was a teacher at Kaga School of the Deaf from North Imenti. Mheshimiwa Laim knows him. And is very passionate on the ability of our people with special needs to communicate. So this bill has come in handy. Mr. Speaker, myself and the majority leader, we were not really trying to push for this amendment for the sake of it. We were looking for a law of posterity. And earlier conveying a message here that we need to hand part of the functions of the council as research because they are handling other factors because we don't know the potential of these people who require the services of interpretation. All in all, Mr. Speaker, I want to say this. There's always a step forward that set the pace for the future. And I want to thank the movers because this being the initial step that we are taking towards ensuring that we have a formal recognition of the importance of the sign language and the people we are talking to. I really would like to take the exceptional congratulatory note to the committee, to the people involved in this, and we hope as we move forward, we will be able to iron out the small issues that has come up. We look forward that the Senate will also relook at it. Conclude. And we really build this so that we don't find ourselves back here trying to bring those amendments. I thank you, Mr. Speaker. I thank the mover. Thank you.
Honorable members, I now put the question, which is that the Kenya Sign Language Bill, Senate Bill number 9 of 2023, be now read a third time. Will as many of the opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
An act of parliament to give a bill for an act of parliament to give effect to Article 7.3b of the Constitution on the promotion and development of the use of Kenya Sign Language, to give effect to Article 54(1)(d), to provide for the inclusion of sign language in education curriculum, to provide for the use of sign language in legal proceedings, and for connected purposes.
Next order.
Order number 9, the Penal Code Amendment, Bill, National Assembly Bill number 53 of 2024, second reading, resumption of debate.
Anthony Ulwash, this was your own bill? Eh? Yes, the sponsor, yes. But I'm looking at any interest. Emilio Odhiambo is. Oh. Honorable members also are interested in contributing on this bill, which is a. Yeah,
Thank you.
Emilio Odhiambo, proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I do support. In supporting, I want to just say I'm very proud of Honorable Anthony. I've known Anthony for a long time, a very good friend of my birth. He was studying, when they were studying their law, they used to use my notes. So it's not only the women who have benefited. Sometimes it's good to show off. He even used to sleep at my place when they were studying. So I'm very faced in dealing with the issue of suicide as a country is the fact that we criminalize the act of suicide, which is actually a disease. Mr. Speaker, it's also similar to how we deal with alcoholism or addiction, that you find somebody sitting down and trying to lecture a person who is an alcoholic. You are giving them a lecture about how they should make sure they are well. A lot of people who commit suicide, not a lot, many actually, almost all, Mr. Speaker, from medical evidence, are people who are sick mentally. They are facing mental challenges, and what they need is support, not criminalization. And what we need is perhaps that they get mental support, Mr. Speaker. We should treat this as a medical condition. Mr. Speaker, when I lost my mother, which was very unexpected because I spoke to her in the night, and she died suddenly in the morning. One of those days, Mr. Speaker, I went through such a dark place that I actually told somebody that I understand how people talk about having mental challenges. And I told somebody that for the first time I understood the book of Psalms 23, where they say, though I walk through the shadow of the valley of death. And Mr. Speaker, when I lost my mom, I walked in the valley of the shadow of death. And I understood how people can get extremely depressed. And Mr. Speaker, this is one instance. Can you imagine there's a person who has lost their mother, who has lost a child, who has lost a sibling, who has lost a spouse? Mr. Speaker, what do you think that person is going through? And then we are talking also even of the country right now. Mr. Speaker, there are many times you find a person who has a degree, who has a master's, and is serving as a watchman. There's nothing wrong with being a watchman, just that they are not paid very well. I know a lot of us Kenyans who live here, many people who serve as security, but they are paid fairly well. But in Kenya, when you're employed as a watchman and you have a degree and a master's, Mr. Speaker, that can take somebody into depression. And you have situations where you see a mother and has her children, and she doesn't know what the children are going to eat. Maybe they have gone without food for days, Mr. Speaker. Now, when you find such a mother attempts to commit suicide, instead of seeking to help her, we criminalize and commit them to court. Mr. Speaker, I know that there are people who have been concerned that this goes against Islamic teaching and Christian teaching, because Islamic teaching and Christian teaching goes against taking of life. But a sick person is not a person who is knowledgeable. Even in Christianity, If you look at the book of Joshua and the book of Judges, there were cities that were set aside for people who had not intentionally committed murder as cities of refuge. Meaning there are people who by accident would commit murder. And a person who is mentally sick is one of those people. They don't have the mens rea, which also in law we recognize. Mens rea is the guilty mind. So when you have a sick person and we want to say that we need to criminalize them or punish them, I believe in Christianity, it doesn't go against Christian teaching to help that person. In Christianity, there was a city of refuge for such a person. And our city of refuge in modern times is actually psychiatrists and other professionals that can help. And I know that to a large degree, the Islamic faith is very similar to the Christian faith. The only departure, of course, is that in the Christianity, we say you don't go to God except through Jesus Christ. And in Islam, Jesus is seen as a prophet. But fundamentally, most of the things that we say we believe in are very similar. And so I'm sure if there is a city of refuge in Christianity, I suspect there must be a city of refuge even in Islam. And because there's that city of refuge, let us look at people who are depressed, who need help. We give them refuge that is given in the book of Joshua, that is given in the book of Judges, through medical intervention, not through punishment. And I therefore fully support the proposed amendment by Honorable Anthony Olwach. And I want to encourage that maybe the challenge that we are facing as a country is how expensive the facilities for mental wellness are. I think I shared here in the house on the floor, I think 2 weeks ago, that I have a nephew who has challenges, mental challenges. And Mr. Speaker, every time he's admitted in hospital for less than a month, it's 1 million Kenya shillings. Mr. Speaker, how many people can afford 1 million Kenya shillings? We make this a very expensive affair. And then the facilities that are government-oriented are also stigmatized, that you can only be taken to Mathare, and Mathare is seen as a very stigmatizing institution. We need to provide institutions which are maybe called wellness or some other fancy name, so that when people go there, we don't stigmatize. The same way, if I have malaria, I'm not stigmatized for having malaria. A person who also has I support.
Makali John.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity for me to also contribute on this amendment to the Penal Code. Mr. Speaker, I must confess that as a member of the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee, when this amendment was submitted to us, I was thoroughly opposed to it because I thought it was a vicious attack on Article 26 of our Constitution, that by enacting the amendment, we will be technically, and from a bystander's view, be legalizing suicide. But after the appearance of the Honorable Member from Mathare, the Honorable Watch, and the other stakeholders, I met my Damascus moment, and I thought this is something which we need to support. Honorable Speaker, this clause has been in our Penal Code since 1930. It has served its purpose, and I tend to think we need to carry out a cleanup of the entire penal code so that we can remove some of these old clauses that really do not tally with the times. Honorable Speaker, within the definition of Section 2 of our Mental Health Act, this is a person who is going through difficult moments. This is a person who is suffering depression. This is a person who is suffering trauma. And I have looked to take suicide, are very often struggling with many health challenges, trauma, depression, and severe emotional distress. Do we need to literally punish up this person by penal sanctions, by, committing him to prison or having him to pay a fine after taking him through a rigorous trial process? I do not think so, Honorable Speaker. And I will tend to think that at this particular moment in time, and has been rightly pointed out by the previous contributor to this particular motion that was ably moved by the Honorable Lodge, this is a person who requires help. This is not a person who requires to be punished. This is a person who requires assistance. This is a person who requires empathy and not punishment. And therefore, it is critically important that we pass this particular amendment so that we can really be able to look into the circumstances that actually make this person to be depressed and think of taking away his life, his or her life, which is deemed sacred. Honorable Speaker, in the course of our engagements with stakeholders, Honorable Speaker, we were informed that this matter has also been taken to court, and the courts have had to pronounce themselves on it. Honorable Speaker, in the High Court Constitutional Petition number E045 of 2022, that was taken by the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights and two others for the Attorney General, the High Court considered this provision in the statute, and the High Court held that persons who commit the crime of attempted suicide, and said these are persons who are suffering a mental illness, and therefore that provision in the Penal Code, Section 226, is unconstitutional. So as we speak of the people of Kenya, has pronounced itself on this particular provision and has held that this provision is unconstitutional. So what do we have to do as a House? We have also to align our statutes, because we are the law-making institution. We must align our laws with the Constitution and what the judiciary has proclaimed. Equally, Honorable Speaker, I asked myself, what was troubling me is that if we remove these particular provisions, then what happens? What happens to people who are suffering a lot of trauma? What happens to them? Honorable Speaker, I found solace, good mental health and good health. So as a country, we need to work upon provisions to ensure that people who are suffering trauma, depression, and illnesses are taken care of. Honorable Speaker, I looked at the Mental Health Act, and Honorable Speaker, I found a provision in the Mental Health Act, and specifically Section 2, that can take charge of this particular provision. That act indicates a person with a mental illness to include a person diagnosed by a qualified mental health practitioner, which means we need actually to work upon our mental health facilities and to ensure that decriminalization turns to meaningful protection and care of people who have mental health. Section 2C of the Mental Act is very specific. County governments and national governments are obligated to develop the necessary physical and technological infrastructure for the care, rehabilitation, and provision of health services. So what are we saying here, Honorable Speaker? We need, as a House, and the county governments equally, need to make serious provision for rehabilitation of people who are depressed, people who are suffering mental illness. So they are part and parcel of this particular society. So, Honorable Speaker, I support this particular bill and urge that we pass it. But we need to move a step higher to ensure that in each of our 47 counties, we have places for rehabilitation, counseling, for people who have, depression, trauma, because people don't invite depression to themselves. They don't invite trauma to themselves. So as a House, we need to allocate more resources towards the rehabilitation of people who are suffering mental health, and we ensure that almost all our health facilities have provisions to take charge of people who are suffering mental illness. With those remarks, Honorable Speaker, I support and thank the Honorable Member for Mathare for bringing up this particular bill. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. I'll be very brief, not to repeat what my colleagues have said, But from the onset, let me begin by saying I'm supporting these proposed amendments of the Penal Code by Honorable Anton, a member for Mathare, who has been really championing on this proposed amendment, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, people who go through many disorders like mood disorders, anxiety disorders, personality disorder, or psychotic disorders, sometimes they can contemplate to commit suicide. And it is not their wish to take their lives. And that is why I am saying we don't need actually to criminalize the act. We need to come up with a solution of supporting them, and also looking at these people, we give them refuge through medical intervention. And it is very important, once we experience this kind of people, we give support rather than subjecting them to prisons and, of course, criminalizing them, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, some of these circumstances that lead a person to contemplate committing suicide is the issue of long-term isolation, prolonged work stress, which we usually go through. Even I'm sure some of our members of parliament here, they are very stressed when they are going through, when they are waiting for the next elections. And many of them actually can go through hormonal fluctuations and trauma and stress. And that is why we are saying they might even end up contemplating committing suicide. And Mr. Speaker, instead of doing this, let us build in each country at least a facility for mental challenges so that we can handle many of these. Our society, if you walk in every town in your constituency, you will see these people going through these challenges, and I think it is high time we support these amendments for the sake, and even we will align it in our constitution so that we don't really heavily punish people who are innocent, Mr. Speaker. And without laboring too much on this, I fully support, congratulate Anton Oluoch for these wonderful amendments, and I fully support, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Ndikiri.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I stand here to support this amendment on the penal code brought by our senior Honorable Oluoch. Mr. Speaker, suicide is becoming a killer factor in this country. I will specifically point out in my constituency, Mr. Speaker, we have seen a wave of suicide, particularly among the male people and the youth. And it's across the country. Why? Because of the environment that majority of these people are operating from. Statistically, Mr. Speaker, you notice that it has confirmed the cases where there are family conflicts are forcing some people to commit suicide. Mr. Speaker, the increasing influence of the peers and consumption of illicit substances, not by choice, but being forced by circumstances. Majority of these people are committing suicide. Mr. Speaker, you'll find that even the situation that we are observing in our learning institutions, Mr. Speaker, there is always something related that forces people to commit suicide and trying to also to kill other people. Mr. Speaker, I think it's that time we start dealing with preventive mechanisms of that forces people to commit suicide. I agree, Mr. Speaker, scientifically, there are some proven cases that if you have a lineage of people in your family of committing suicide, there's a possibility that somebody else within that family, when it happens, or they attempt to do so, it is known that they are doing this because of natural inherited situations. But these people are not criminals. By your standards, people who commit suicide, they are not criminals. So subjecting them to severe penalties on like those other people who are committed crime is not a good thing. And I think the penal code that we are operating with is an old one, just like it has been pointed out. I think we need to move away from that and start now dealing with a situation where these people will be given other form of rehabilitation. Because I'm sure, and I've seen these cases, suicidal cases, people coming up. And so what I'm saying is this, Mr. Speaker. These are our brothers, these are our sisters. And some of them can be rehabilitated. And that's why we are saying that we need working rehabilitation centers equipped with adequate medical facilities that will get these people back to us. Number two, Mr. Speaker, I think we need also to ensure that we have various programs, particularly focusing on our youth, the boy-child initiatives, so that they'll be able not to take an option of life, taking their lives, and they go to another level of confidence building. Because majority of these people who commit suicide, there is a certain level of inferiority, which has been perpetuated by various factors. So, Mr. Speaker, this amendment comes handy, and I want to thank Oluoch. Oluoch comes from Mathare, and that's why we have Mathare Medical Hospital. I think because of the experiences that has gone through, because he is the one. So he has a lot of experience, and that experience, I think, has caused him to really to come up with this in an induced development that has caused Honorable Lodge to come up with this amendment, and we really support. I thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's a nice bill, and we really need to really encourage it. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The honourable member for Nyando.
I thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. And on the same breath, allow me to support this bill as advanced by my brother, Honourable Anthony Oluoch. Honourable Speaker, this bill is timely. Timely to the effect that we have so many people languishing either in jails or subjected to very punitive measures by our courts of law as a result of this section 266 of our penal code, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, for one to have attempted suicide, it must be having a very direct link with a mental disposition. Honorable Speaker, life is sacrosanct. And to the level that somebody as pure as life is and of great value, to have thought through to take that life out of his body, there must be something tragically wrong. Honorable Speaker, it is therefore most important that we treat this, any suicidal attempt, as an affront to not just our lives, but a mental issue that calls for greater introspection that would lead into medical attention, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, coming at a time when organizations that have been consistently drawing a lot of their funding from the United States are now cutting back because the government of America is not willing to fund even on psychotherapy issues of people undergoing medical psychosocial issues, Honorable Speaker. Is therefore something that we must collectively as a House truly psychosocial and psychotherapy medication, Honorable Speaker. You may realize at the end of the day that indeed issues that probably propelled one to think along the lines of suicide, Honorable Speaker, are not as so stringent as to warrant death. If people who have mental issues can be taken to hospitals such as Madari, where where the sponsor of this bill represents, Honorable Speaker, can be taken through medication.
I want to recognize the presence of students from Kabule Sobet Primary School, Sotik constituency, Bomet, and students from Kiserian Adventist School, Kajiado West, Kajiado. I'll come back to you. Yeah. And give an opportunity to the gracious lady here to give words of encouragement to the students from those two schools. Kapole Sobet Primary School and Kiserian Adventist School. Give them words of encouragement.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to encourage the lovely students who have visited us today. My word of encouragement to you is that first, put God first in everything that you do. Commit all your plans to Him and you will succeed. The second thing is generosity. Always share your wisdom with each other. If you're good in maths, help the person who is not good in maths. The third thing I would want to tell you is always be grateful for the opportunity. Many students would want to be in school, but they're not in school. You have been given that opportunity. Respect your parents, listen to your teachers, and above all, work very, very hard. Finally, observe something that we call growth. Every day before you sleep, ask yourself, have you learned a new thing? And if you've not learned, for that day to be marked as something new that you've learned. Finally, I would want to tell you, if you want to become a lawyer, an engineer, a pilot, whatever you want to become, start acting like them. Sleep like a lawyer, eat like a lawyer, talk like a lawyer. And my final question to you would be, is there a lawyer who plays PlayStation the whole day? Is there a lawyer who sleeps the whole day? Is there a lawyer who watches movies the whole day? Thank you so much. God bless you. And we look forward to seeing you successful in the future. Thank you.
Daud, you want to congratulate the students? You want to contribute? In addition to that is also another school called Namgoi Mixed Day School, Chesumei, Nandi. The students, the young men and women are in the speakers gallery. And I want the Honorable Member for West Mugirangu to say words of wisdom to these students again.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I want to join you and the entire House in welcoming our learners to the august House and assure them that they are at the right place and learning from the best house in the Commonwealth. And I want to add what my sister has said. When you are in school, learners, this is the time you define yourself, you define your future, and you are guarantee both yourself and the family you belong to of your career pathway. We have seen a tremendous transformation in the education system, which is now inculcating skills in you that will make you total men and total women when you start your career paths. Jitume and make sure that you excel in whatever you undertake. Please, while in school, learn from your teachers, but more importantly also learn from each other. Be your brother's keeper, be your sister's keeper. Do not do that will hurt God and the law. And in particular, I want to encourage you that you cannot resort to taking your life, because you are in the House when we are discussing an amendment that takes away the criminality from those who attempt to kill themselves. Never ever harm yourself or anybody, never harm any property in the Republic, because the law will catch up with you. We wish you all the best. Journey mercies when you go home, And the teachers who have brought our learners here, keep bringing them, and we will always encourage them to be lawyers, to be engineers, to be doctors, to be teachers, and to be speakers of the House like Honorable Farah Maalim, who has welcomed you. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chemetian, you're the only one who is in the chapters right now from Rift Valley. Two of the schools are from Rift Valley. Proceed. You're also from Rift Valley?
Yes.
Great. She has done that. She has already given her piece.
But let me just put across a word.
Not just very flowery.
Thank you.
I can see the future presidents of this country. I can see the future senators, speakers, generals, ladies who are going to become ambassadors to Saudi Arabia with hijabi. and I can see a lot of potential up there. So give them all the words of wisdom and encouragement.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. I also want to say to all the students in the House today that success is very intentional. Whatever thing you put into your mind, whatever thing you wish, and everything that you do today reflects your life tomorrow. The world will not judge you because of your best to your teachers, respect your parents, and learn that the society belongs to everyone without prejudice of tribal, gender, and you will always be among the best people in this universe. Otherwise, I want to say, while you are in school, as long as you are in uniform, there will be a day that you will wake up in the morning and you will not be putting that on that uniform, because young or youthfulness is a transient. Make use of this time, work so hard, and you will always be paid. And hard work always pay.
Excellent.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Character is everything, yeah?
Character, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now I'll call on the MP for Nyando to finish his contribution.
I thank you once again, Honorable Speaker, and on the same breath, I also want to encourage our young children to remain focused. Discipline is everything, above all, Honorable Speaker. Just their same age at Utumishi Academy, Honorable Speaker, young children, if found guilty and culpable, will stay in prison for their entire life because of a small decision, a wrong decision that they took, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, every and think deeply. Do not go by the spur of the moment. You know, what they would call the group thinking, the group mentality, but do the right thing. Honorable Speaker, taking a tangent from where I left, there are people who suffer mental illnesses and are taken to hospitals and they heal. They become normal, Honorable Speaker. A few years ago, I took one of my relatives who was suffering mental illness to Kisumu District Hospital, Honorable Speaker. And after 1 week, he had improved. He was very consistent in his behavior and became normal. And I was asking the doctors, what the problem then happens when you have many people either walking naked or are collecting garbage on the streets because of mental illnesses. And the doctor told me that because people fall ill and it takes forever to be taken to hospital, some of them are still being taken to witchcraft, Honorable Speaker. Some of them are taken to some cultish religious groupings with indoctrinated membership, Honorable Speaker. So that span of wasting time, strengthens the mental disorder. And that is why then it becomes quite irreversible, Honorable Speaker. Therefore, what my brother, Honorable Watch, is coming up with is timely. We do not need to condemn these people without giving them a second chance at medical intervention, Honorable Speaker. And if that is going to happen, we are going to release many from our jails. We are going to have many who would have otherwise languished their entire life behind cells, Honorable Speaker. and give them a productive chance and produce to our society, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, I support this bill, and I hope that we will also infuse a category where these people who will be subjected to medical help will also be funded, so that you do not have somebody who wants to take out his life and is still required to go look for money to have that medical intervention, Honorable Speaker. I thank you for the opportunity.
Well, Dawood Rahim, followed by Honorable Mishimboko.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I wish to support this bill by Honorable Oloch. I spoke to him earlier, saying suicide in Islam is strictly prohibited. Honorable Speaker, in Islam, Surah Al-Nisa 4:29 says that you do not take your life, because it says, and I will quote, and do not kill yourselves. That's what Surah Al-Nisa says. Allah is without doubt most merciful to you. The same is said again in Surah Al-Baqarah, where it says that your life is not for you, it is for the Lord. Mr. Speaker, suicide is not just suicide by its own. It goes, the Islamic scholars have now come up and said it is a mental health issue. And when you are not in control, because suicide, there are many factors which influence suicide, Honorable Speaker, such as biological, social, or even environmental. And depression is one of the main reasons contributing to psychiatric causes, and that I think it's about 700,000 adolescents from 19 to 29 who lose their lives because of suicide. Mr. Speaker, the suicide rates are surprisingly higher in some of Muslim countries, like Nigeria and other few countries. They are higher than the global average. So, Mr. Speaker, mental illness like depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder are more likely to rise among people affected by conflict and displacement, limited access to water, shelter, challenges such as unemployment and immigration. Mr. Speaker, when we talk about mental illness, we should even think about people who are facing life-threatening diseases, euthanasia. I want to ask Honorable Oloch to see if we can put the definition of euthanasia or assisted dying. Because, Mr. Speaker, there are few countries who have passed the laws that allow euthanasia, which is medically certified, that people who are suffering from illnesses which they cannot be treated, and they're dying in a way which is very, very difficult for the family and for themselves. So they get medically assisted, but it is criminalized in a lot of societies. Only a few countries have approved it. But I would want Honorable Oloch to see if we can include the suicide, which he has mentioned, the legalization. We are not saying we want to encourage people to commit suicide, but we have to be ahead and support our people, because otherwise there is a lot of issues with mental health in this country. And if you're not having suicidal thoughts, I don't know what you will do, because things are tough as it is. We need to have institutions established where we can talk, because in Islam it does not allow you, but some of the countries, because of religious beliefs, people will not commit suicide because of the religious beliefs, but they suffer in silence, Mr. Speaker. And we need to get that, maybe an institute or have mental health clinics more often, so that the people who do think about committing suicide, they will reduce. Mr. Speaker, I'm glad the bill by Honorable Olwoch has been passed by the Committee of Legal. Mr. Speaker, I tried to bring my bill on penal code, change of a penal code, where I said a woman who is pregnant, and I was told it was discriminated, men cannot give birth, but it was dropped. But I'm glad that the Committee on Legal agreed to this one, because it goes against the tenets of the faiths which are in Kenya, the big in Egypt. The Islamic scholars have said a person who does not have control over themselves, then it is not illegal, it's a sin, but not kufr. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not pray during his time, did not pray the janaza salat for passed away, for janaza. So that means he left it that at the end of time, Allah will make the decision whether this person will be thrown into the fires of hell. So, Mr. Speaker, with those few remarks, I congratulate Honorable Olwoch, and I hope he can bring euthanasia as well in the bill if it is possible. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Mheshimiwa Mishimboko.
Asante Mheshimiwa Speaker. Na niweze kusema mswada huu kwanza unaangalia kuweza kuhakikisha ya kwamba maamuzi.
Point of order, okay. I thought you were on a point of order. Endelea Mheshimiwa Mishimboko.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Speaker.
Nilikuwa nafikiria atakwambia tueleze penal code kwa Kiswahili. Lakini ndio hivyo sasa akaamua yeye mwenyewe pia.
Na kwa sababu ya mahakama kuu iliamua ya kwamba kifungu 226 hakiko sawa, na katungu hivi vyote vimezungumzia pia kuna ya kwamba watu hawa ambao wanajaribu kujitoa uhai, kwanza huwa akili zao zimetoka katika kuwa akili timamu na zimeingia katika akili ambazo zimekuwa na tofauti ama zimekuwa na wasiwasi, na ambapo iwapo mtu ambaye zilikuwa zimefyatuka. Kwa hivyo basi ni kumaanisha ya kwamba baada ya mawaidha katika akili zake imeweza kupungua na akaweza kubadilisha mawazo ya kutaka kujitoa uhai, sisi tunampeleka gerezani katika miti kule seneti, toka katika akili zao timamu na wameingia katika akili ambazo zimekuwa na itilafu, ndiposa wanaweza kufanya jambo kama hilo. Na wakazungumzia ya kwamba takikana ambayo itawabadilisha msongamano ule wa mawazo machafu na waweze kuwa na mawazo mazuri, ndiposa waache kufanya kitendo kama kile cha kuweza kujitoa uhai. Vile vile tukiangalia shirika la kiulimwengu lile ambalo linaitwa WHO, hawa watu ambao wanataka kujitoa uhai kama wahalifu, inazidisha sana uwezekano wa watu wengi kutaka kujitoa uhai. Mambo ya afya ya kiakili na kuweza pia kuwazungumzia sana na kuweza kuwanusuru katika jambo kama hili. Tukiangalia katika taifa letu la Kenya, tunaona visa hivi vimekuwa vingi sana, haswa wakati tunaona kumekuwa na mambo ya madawa ya kulevya kwa wingi sana. Tukiangalia zile tunaita, watu kule mtaani wanasema brown sugar, wengine wanakuambia ganja na miadarati mingi sana. Na baada ya kuwa na hii miadarati mingi sana, ndio tumeona visa kama hivi vimekuwa mingi. Na je, tuangalie hii miadarati, mtu anapotumia akili yake inakuwa timamu ama akili yake inakuwa na tofauti? Na jibu ni kwamba akili huwa inakuwa na tofauti na anakuwa si yule mtu wa kawaida ama ile akili yake ya kawaida. Na ndiposa anaweza
nidhamu. Mheshimiwa Mishimboko, umebakiza dakika 5 wakati hoja hii itakuwa kwenye bunge tena. Wewe uko na dakika zako 5. Honorable members, on the time being 1:01 p.m., this House stands adjourned until Wednesday, the 24th of June, which is today, the year 2026, at 2:30 p.m.
Honorable members, Mr. Speaker.
Mheshimiwa Bunge, na tuombe. Ewe Mwenyezi Mungu, ambaye kwa hekima na wema wako umeteua nyadhifa za viongozi na mabunge kosoa wa jamii na utawala wa haki wa wanadamu, tunakusihi tutazame kwa neema nyingi sisi watumishi wako ambao unataka kutuita ili tutekeleze shughuli muhimu za jamhuri hii yetu. Kwa kuomba tuteremshie baraka zako sisi tulikutanika hapa, na tujalie tuyatenda kufikiria mambo yote yatakayofikishwa mbele yetu kwa njia ya haki na uaminifu, ili utukufu na sifa zako ziendelezwe, na ili kustawisha amani, ufanisi na heri ya nchi hii yetu, na wale ambao haza zao umezikabidhi kwa mikononi mwetu. Amina. Sergeant at Arms, let's have the Korang bell ring for 10 minutes.
This live broadcast, a live broadcast that is coming to you from Parliament buildings of the National Assembly of Kenya. This day, Wednesday, June 17, 2026, the morning session. The prayer has already been said and the chair has been taken. However, there was a quorum hitch that necessitated the Speaker to order for the quorum bell to be rung for 10 minutes. This is in accordance with the standing order of the House, Standing Order 34-1, that requires the quorum to be at 50 members at the commencement of House business. So at the moment, that's what we are waiting for. The bell has been rung, waiting for members to walk into the chamber, members within the precincts of Parliament, to achieve that quorum for purposes of transacting House business. In the order paper this morning, part of the business that is expected is order number 8, the Finance Bill, National Assembly Bill number 26 of 2026, a bill by the Chairperson, Departmental Committee of Finance and National Planning. This bill is at the second reading stage, and the debate is expected to be resumed after interruption on Tuesday, June 16, 2026. Also on the order paper, the Kenya Revenue Authority Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 28 of 26, a bill by the Leader of Majority Party, also at the second reading stage. On order number 10, there's the Penal Code Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 53 of 2024, a bill by Honorable Anthony Oluoch MP. This is also at the second reading stage, and it's expected that the debate will be resumed on this after interruption on Wednesday, June 10th, 2026 morning sitting. Come from wherever you're joining us to this live broadcast of the National Assembly proceedings this Wednesday, 17th, 2026. A broadcast that is made possible by the PBU in collaboration with the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation. Just taking you through what is expected on our order paper this morning sitting. At order number 11 on the order paper is a motion on sustainable management and valorization of organic waste from avocado processing. This is a motion by Honorable Mary Wamaua MP. Further also on the order paper, on order number 12, is the National Transport and Safety Authority Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 36 of 2023. This being a bill by the Honorable Didmas Barasa MP. Also on the order paper for this day is order number 13, the Employment Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 62 of 2023, at the second reading stage, also by the Honorable Didmas Barasa MP. At the moment, we are waiting for the quorum to be achieved as per the standing orders of the House.
Order, the quorum bell be stopped and...
The quorum has been achieved. Proceed. Allow me to hand you over
Order
to
number
the chamber.
1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair. Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Majority Leader, go ahead.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Wednesday, 17th June 2026, morning sitting. Reports of the Auditor General and financial statement for the year ended 30th June 2025, and the certificates therein in respect of: number 1, Alliance Girls High School; 2, Bulesa Day Secondary School; 3, Chelilis Girls Secondary School; 4, Lenana School; 5, Moi Forces Academy, Nairobi; 6, Nyandarua Boys High School; 7, St. Barbara Tala Girls High School; 8, St. Charles Luaga Otimong Secondary School, Busia; 11, the Kenya High School; and 12, Wamalwa Kijana Friends Secondary School. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I lay.
Motion. Order number 7, questions and statements.
We have a list on the order paper, and so the first chance will go to the Honorable Adewario. It's in the House. Go ahead.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to provisions of Standing Order 44.2c, I rise to request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security regarding the inadequate national government administrative units in Ileret Sub-County of Northern Constituency. Honorable Speaker, Ileret Sub-County, located along the Kenya-Ethiopian border in Northern Constituency, covers an approximate area of 4,041.5 square kilometers. Despite its expansive area, the entire sub-county is administered by only one chief and an assistant chief for Ileret location, making it impractical for them to effectively coordinate government services across such a vast area. Consequently, the sub-county faces persistent cross-border security threats, weak coordination of security operations, delays in response to emergency security threats, and isolation of residents from reliable access to essential government services. Honorable Speaker, on 15th June 2023, following public participation Sky Division, El Bokoch and Ilolo locations, and as well as Aibete and Omadang sub-locations, the residents expected that the new administrative units will be operationalized in response to insecurity and bring government services proximal to them. Regrettably, the Ministry of Interior and National Administration has neither gazetted nor operationalized the region and left residents exposed to insecurity and inadequate public service delivery. Honorable Speaker, its agency continues to operate under only one administrative location, despite being gazetted as a sub-county, its vastness, geographical expanse, and persistent cross-border insecurity. 2, specific timelines within which the Ministry of Interior and National locations and Aibete and Lomadang sub-locations. And finally, urgent interventions that the ministry has or intends to undertake to address the cross-border insecurity affecting Ileret sub-county along the Kenya-Ethiopian border. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
That committee, the Vice Chairperson, whip your chairs to be in the House. Who will you whip? Your chairs are persistently not in this House when the House starts. What is your job?
Honorable, and they'll be adequately informed.
That is not my issue. My issue is your chairs are persistently not in the House when the House begins. I would like to know from you why your chairs are never in the House when the House begins.
Honorable Speaker, I'll align when you have morning sittings, because some have some small business to finish. Or this
yes, and I'm communicating you now that it's completely out of order for your chairs not with the House. It doesn't matter. The chairs must be in the House when the House begins every single sitting day.
I'm well guided.
I'm ordering that this question will... Thank you. The next is the Honorable Farah Yusuf. Karoli Omondi. Absent. The Honorable Caleb Amisi. Which one are they leadering and they're not in the House?
Yes, I'm here 22C. I rise to request for a statement from the Chairperson of Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence, Foreign Relations regarding the ID number below and the passport below. I migrated to the Republic of South Africa in 2005
where he subsequently became a permanent resident. While on a visit to Maputo, Mozambique, Engineer Moses Magothi tragically lost his life to repatriate his remains to Kenya for burial, when they learned that his body had been cremated without their knowledge or consent. The cremation was allegedly facilitated by a Kenyan national identified as Mrs. Victoria Wanjiku Mraya. Despite the family's ongoing efforts to have the deceased brought back home for a dignified burial in accordance with their wishes, the circumstances surrounding the death and subsequent cremation of Engineer Makothi raises suspicion on the motive of Mrs. Mraya in facilitation of cremation of the deceased without the family's knowledge. It also raises serious concerns regarding the protection of Kenyan citizens abroad, the adequacy of consular assistance, and the procedures followed by foreign authorities before the disposal of the remains of a Kenyan national. Honorations on the following: 1. The circumstances surrounding the death of Engineer Moses Robert Magothi in Maputo, Mozambique on 11th October 2025, including the cause of death and the status of findings of the investigations. 2. The circumstances under which the body of late Engineer Magothi was cremated without the knowledge, consent, or authorization of his family. Investigations have been initiated into alleged involvement and motive. 4. The actions being taken to ensure that the family of the deceased is furnished with all relevant documentation and repatriation of the remains of the deceased for appropriate funeral rites and a closure. And lastly, the legal safeguards and the standard procedures, if any, applicable to processing of cases involving deaths of Kenyans abroad, repatriation of remains, and disposal of bodies outside the country, and confirmation as to whether the disposal of the body of Engineer Magothi complied with the said procedures. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Chairperson of the Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations. Order. The member for Elgeyo Marakwet, the member for Aldai, you are engaging the chair, and the chair has just been asked a question. I'm certain he didn't even hear it. I'm sure he didn't even hear it because you're engaging him so closely. Go ahead, the member, the chairperson of.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The matter that is coming up shortly. But what is the question?
I'll let you sit down. And as order. I'll let you sit down, and I'll request the two members near you to move to other seats, so that the member for the member for Saboti can ask his question and you listen with concentration. The member for Saboti, go ahead. I repeat. Go ahead. Yeah, I want you to repeat that question. The way you do. Yeah? Okay. And don't repeat the whole narrative. Just repeat what you're asking the committee to do. Yes, the Honorable Mboka.
Honorable Speaker, you know we are law-abiding members here. And as such, we respect your chair so much. We respect your position that when the Speaker speaks, this House must move. Speaker, you have given a direction just now that the chair for defense should be left alone.
Okay.
Only one person moved and the other one has not. And as such, Honorable Speaker, people are interrupting with your authority, Honorable Speaker, which we will not allow.
That member should move.
As opposition members, we will support you. We will not allow, Honorable Speaker.
That member will move her seat. That member will move her seat. Please, member for Elgeyo Marakwet, move your seat so that the chairman can listen. Now, go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I will dwell on the last part in the interest of time. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Department of Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations on the following issues. 1, the circumstances surrounding the death of Engineer Moses Robert Magothi in Maputo, Mozambique on 11th October, including the cases of death and the status and findings of the investigation. Secondly, the circumstances under which the body of late Engineer Magothi was cremated without the knowledge, consent, or authorization of his family. Third, the role, if any, played by Mrs. Victoria Wanjiku Mraya in facilitating the cremation of deceased, and whether any investigation have been initiated into alleged involvement and motive. Fourth, the actions being taken to ensure that the family of the deceased is furnished with all relevant documentation and repatriation of the remains of the deceased for appropriate funeral rites and closure. Lastly, the legal safeguards and standards procedures, if any, applicable to processing of cases involving deaths of Kenyans abroad, repatriation of remains and disposal of bodies outside the country, and confirmation as to whether the disposal of the body of Engineer Makosi complied with the said procedures. I thank you once again, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. The matter relates to the death of a Kenyan in Mozambique. And so, how long do you need to deal with this? It's Mozambique.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I would like to give the response on Tuesday next week. That will be a quick response.
Honorable Caleb Hamisi, you've heard what Chairman has said. I also advise that you just talk to him also to give him the details so that he has the full picture as the committee prepares to respond to you.
Thank you.
Is that in order?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Chairman is my chairman, so we'll deal as a committee. Thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Charles Kamuren.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pass one to provision of Standing Order 44-2C. I raised requesting for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Environment, Forestry and Mining regarding the devastating effects of the rising water levels in lakes Baringo and Bokoria on communities and public institutions in Baringo, of lakes Baringo, of communities, leading to the loss of homes, productive land, livelihoods, public infrastructure, vulnerability, and left residents uncertain about long-term government interventions to safeguard lives and properties. As caused threats and facing several education institutions are for particularly concerned with noble examples being Salabani, Ngambo Primary Schools, and Ngambo Girls Secondary Schools, which are already submerged. Nosukuro, Kambiasamaki, Endeavors, Kokwa, Lake Bokoria, Sokotei, Loruk, primary schools, and Lake Bokoria Girls Secondary School, which are on submersion, and particularly right now, Kiserian Primary School. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I requested for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Environment, Forestry and Mining on the following. Findings of any specific studies or assessments by the Ministry of Environment and Climate Change on the causes of the rising water levels. 2, ongoing mitigation measures for the environmental and social economic impacts on affected communities and institutions. 3, specific plans to protect, relocate, or restore schools and public facilities submerged, or resource allocation for disaster response, adaptation, and community resilient programs. 5, long-term climate adaptation and environmental management strategies to address recurrent lake expansion and prevent further loss of land or intervention to compensate affected households and institutions for their losses. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
The Honorable Kamuren, which committee are you directing this question to?
Pardon?
Which committee are you directing this question to?
Environment.
Who are you in that committee?
I'm a member and I'm a vice chair.
So go there, go back to that committee yourself. I'll not ask the chair to respond. Go to that committee and raise this question there yourself and have it handled with you chairing so that this matter can be handled comprehensively. If you follow House proceedings, last week, this matter was discussed in this House comprehensively and even referred to the office of the PCS. So I want to order that you go back to your committee, follow up with your committee and the PCS office so that this question can be answered on this floor comprehensively in the next 2 weeks or at any rate the first week when you come back from recess.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for that guidance. And Honorable Speaker, you know Lake Baringo is freshwater lakes.
Correct.
Lake Bokoria is salty water lake.
Correct.
They were apart almost 38 kilometers. Right now, it is 8 kilometers.
This is very good detail.
Which is a bit challenging the ministry to take concern and also for residents of Baringo South to understand, because this is a problem. It is not only for Baringo.
I didn't stop you because you need your conscience to know that you are raising an issue on the floor, but you're in a place where you can deal with this as vice chair of that committee. The Honorable Member for Soy.
Okay, I'm standing on a point of order, Honorable Speaker. First, I've noted that Honorable Kamuren is the vice chair of that committee. And is the one actually who is the committee are the ones who are supposed to take up the matter and give a report to this House. Why is he entertaining the House instead of entertaining the relevant officers of government in that committee? Unless he's...
Okay, Honorable Kamuren is not just vice chair, he's also the member for Baringo South. He's not just the vice chair of the committee, he's also a member for Baringo South, a part of being vice chair. So he's entitled to ask the question he's raised on the floor, acting for the people of Baringo South. I think that ends the matter of statements. The Honorable McLap, what is...
While I agree 100% with my colleague, Honorable Kamuren, I'm also equally affected. But, Mr. Speaker, as you directed, this thing was discussed almost by the whole House, not only on Lake Baringo, but Lake Turkana, Lake Naivasha, and it was raised substantially by Honorable Wario last week. And the Speaker ruled in this House that this is a phenomenon that is a serious disaster in Kenya, and he committed to the Prime Cabinet Secretary to appear before this House and give a comprehensive statement that affects the whole country, because this is a national phenomenon in the country.
Correct. So it will be handled appropriately. The matter will be handled as directed by the Speaker, and in any case, Honorable Kamuren can raise this with the PSS too. Oh, members, before we proceed to the next order, let's welcome students from Lugulu Boarding Primary School, Ubuye East, Bungoma County. They are seated in the public gallery, and students first, we welcome students to Parliament and to follow our proceedings this morning. Go ahead. And by the Committee on Energy. Is the chairperson in the House? I can see the vice chairperson in the House, and the person who asked the question is Honorable Member for North Horr.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Following the letter dated 4th June 2026, reference number, the National Assembly Department for Energy requests the Principal Secretary, State Department of Energy and Petroleum to submit submission regarding development of renewable energy infrastructure in North Hall constituency, as requested by Honorable Wario, Member of Parliament for North Hall constituency. 1. The rationale for continued development of new solar mini-grid in Bubasi, Foria, Elgad, and Gas, while existing mini-grids are not regularly maintained. The answer, the government remains committed to achieving universal access to electricity through both grid extension and off-grid electricity solution. The ongoing investment in solar main grid, off-grid solar access project, COSAP, is intended to extend electricity to access to unserved communities. The ministry wish to clarify that the mini-grids in Bukana and Ileret are privately owned, operated solar mini-grids with the installed capacity of 35 kilowatts and 25 kilowatts respectively. And these facilities were developed through the funding provided by the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, formerly the Department of International Development of the United Kingdom. And similarly, the Hurili Hills mini-grid is privately operated, facilitated, that was established with the support of the German Agency for International Cooperation. And consequently, the operation and maintenance of these facilities do not fall directly under the mandate of the ministry. In regard to government-owned facility, the ministry through REREC has developed 26 solar mini-grids across the country, including Busela solar mini-grid located in North Horr. And most of these facilities have been in operation for the last 5 years and have reached a stage where major maintenance and equipment replacement and solar rehabilitation are required to sustain reliable service delivery. Constraint that affected the availability of funds for routine rehabilitation and maintenance of solar mini-grids and procurement process for maintenance work, including under COSAP, presented at different programs designed under lesson learned earlier mini-grids deployment.
Chairperson, are you able to summarize your response?
All right. 2, clarify the reasons for non-connectivity of North Horr constituency to Lake Turkana wind power, despite proximity of the constituency to the program. To address connectivity challenges, the government has adopted a dual approach comprising target grid expansion, where technical and economical feasible and deployment of off-grid solution, such that solar mini-grid in remote settlements, connectivity to North Horr through ongoing investment of mini-grids, renewable energy system, rural electricity programs, further transmit and distribute infrastructure development. And in this regard, access COSAP in the exchanger program, the ministry is implementing solar and boreholes of North constituency because, Honorable Speaker, there is a table annexed to this report, and he will read for himself. The ministry recognizes North Horr constituency in the greater North partially due to, in order to address this, the ministry through REREC had adopted the following strategy. 1, enhance cooperation of renewable grids. 2, application of affirmative action in allocation of budgets. 3, adapting alternative energy technologies through solar or boreholes to sustainable power solution to power the projects provided a meter for domestic use. Plans which the ministry has energy to invest the tap wind and solar power potential in North Grid. The implementation of phase 1, 200 megawatts Marsabit wind power, is a project over a 5-year period, which is a key milestone outlined as follows. 2025-2026, a completion of environmental and social impact assessment, birds and birds study, free priority informed consent study to ensure regular compliance and meaningful community participation, community land election that is being held, that has already been held, will be held on 22nd and 26th June, and securing approvals from the National Treasury and Cabinet approval for financial closure and the contractor procurement through competitive bidding. In 2026, manufacturing of project components and detailed logistic planning. 2028-2019, construction and installation of project infrastructure. And finally, KenGen remains firm, committed to deploying opportunity, infrastructure development, and enhance livelihood. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Rio. I really don't agree with response number 1 that mentions about the agreement between the private investor and the Minister of Energy, because it is their purpose. It has been, this mini grids has been off for the last 3 years, and we've made several attempts to talk to the Ministry and also REREC to ensure that this mini grids really works. So I don't really agree that, because it's not really the responsibility of the community to engage with the private investor while they are not the ones who signed the agreement between
Order, members, order.
Between the ministry...
Order, we want to listen to the Honorable
Minister of Energy, which respects the government of the Republic of Kenya.
Thank you.
But not the investor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The Honorable Ngikor. Go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, on the same, I am also affected on the same issue of the main grids. All the main grids in the North Rift, which were done by the Ministry of Energy through REREC, all of them, they are now stalled, and none of them is working. And we fail to understand the response the committee they are giving, telling us that it is the duty of the community to alliance with the company.
Up these matters and let them be dealt with.
Go and ask your question. Go and ask your question.
Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 42 Committee on Administration and Internal Security regarding the disappearance of a resident of Wajir West constituency. Honorable Speaker, on 3rd June 2026, Mr. Hassan Omar Abbash Omar of ID number Wajir General Hospital and forced into a Toyota Land Cruiser. Registration number KBY 746G. The matter was reported at Wajir Central, abducted outside Wajir General Hospital and forced into a Toyota Land Cruiser registration number KBY 74 and OB number 32/03-06026. The disappearance of Mr. Omar has caused great distress to his family, relatives, and residents of Wajir West constituency, who remain concerned about his safety and whereabouts. Despite the matter having been reported to the police, his family is yet to receive from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security on the following. Number 1, the circumstance surrounding the alleged outside Wajir Central Hospital. Number 2, the status of the investigation into the matter reported at Wajir Central Police Station under OB number 32/03/06/26, including suspects identified. 3, the steps taken by the National Police Service and other relevant security agencies to establish the whereabouts of Mr. Omar.
Committee? Chair, who is there from the committee? You are here.
Yes.
Proceed and give an undertaking based on the agency of this matter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We will give a response in 2 weeks.
You give a response in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Or the first week after recess, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Farah.
Use the same opportunity to ask me to respond.
2 weeks is more or less the standard, and it's okay. Yes. Give him the mic.
Honorable Speaker, this is a matter of life and death. It can't wait for 2 weeks. I need a statement next week, or even tomorrow or the day after, because this is a matter that can be just determined by the...
Yes, committee member.
Mr. Speaker, maybe, according to the standing orders, we can give 7 days, but not tomorrow.
Okay, fair enough. You're going to give 7 days.
Thank you.
What's your point of order, Honorable Wamboka? I'm not going to...
The member of the committee should be factual.
Is going to make sure that specificity itself is so when exactly are you going to have that statement?
Next week on Wednesday, Mr. Speaker.
Next week on Wednesday?
Yes, Mr.
It's so
Speaker.
directed.
On this House, directed that the Chair for Defense respond to my question that I asked more than 2 weeks ago, and it was also an urgent issue. So,
Chair for Defense, Honorable Koech.
Honorable Speaker, as much as she actually requests for the response, I want to say that there's a lot of frustration that my committee is receiving from the State Department of Diaspora. I've engaged them last week, this week, and generally Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And probably I will seek at this point your indulgence, Honorable Speaker, because I have been unable to reach anyone to get that response. I have been trying to call the officer who's in charge of liaison, including my clerk, and I want you to direct that actually they need to take...
Being a member of Parliament for the DAP and myself, I think the system we established under these college letters as well as in the executive, and when they give an undertaking and they don't, perform on that undertaking, personally, what do you think, what direction do you think the chair can give to the department? Yes, what's your issue, Madam?
Mr. Speaker, it is good to note, and the relevant ministry should actually take note that the Kenyans in diaspora remit 650 billion to the economy of this country every year. And whenever they, 6 weeks after leaving Kenya, remember, this is somebody who the parents sold everything to have a go to Australia. Honestly, Mr. Speaker, there is a problem and there is need of this House to make a decision about that Ministry of Diaspora. These are people who contribute to this economy of this country and even the employment, because in this country we understand the challenge of employment and the diaspora is helping us. The ambassadors as well are not helping us any much because most of them are aspirants and they are contestants. They linger around in Kenya doing campaigns, and whenever they are needed maybe in their country of jurisdiction, they are frustrated equally. So, Mr. Speaker, there is need for this House to make a decision to compel them to be giving answers as soon as possible. For example, the member here requires an answer from the ministry. They give also answers as soon as they are required. My question is now 3 weeks old.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Point taken. Yes, honorable member. Yes, proceed. You have the mic.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, from the ministry.
And basically,
yes,
absolutely no powers.
Correct. I am a member of the Diaspora Committee. The same frustrations we also face when we make inquiries on situations faced by Kenyans abroad. Mr. Speaker, if it pleases you, may you direct that the minister himself comes to the House to respond specific...
Mr. Speaker, the honorable member is saying that he is a member...
Here in their capacity as chairman of their respective committees and their members of Parliament. And that's the executive. They do not run the executive from Parliament here. Yes. What's your point of order, the majority whip?
Honourable Speaker, the procedure,
yes,
or the precedent that has been set in this House,
yes,
on similar, they raise it above and through the House leadership. And listening to the Chair of Defense, he moved you to direct that the minister be compelled. That can only be done by the leadership in this floor, Honorable Speaker.
Yes.
So the right procedure, Honorable Speaker, is that the chair of the Defense Committee submits, of course, his complaints now to the House leadership, and will compel the minister to appear before this House, Honorable Speaker, to respond to such questions.
You know, the Honorable Chief Whip, I'm sure you understand the separation of power. The executive, the legislature, and the House here. Yeah, the House can sanction the legislature, the executive. Here, you can have a motion of censure on any member of the executive. But the House, I think, is not the best place to direct a minister if the minister is not here delivering or rather protecting his own ministry here when on the allotted dates. But nonetheless, I'll still go ahead and direct. Yes, what's your point of order, Honorable Koinan? Order.
This is the House of Records. And this is the first arm of government. Article 1 of the current constitution, which gladly, I was one of the participants actually in drafting this document, clearly stipulates that representation is the same as our sovereignty. Taking what the member has said into account and reading Article 125, I feel this House is being misled. My good friend, the chairman of Defense and Foreign Relations, cannot feign that he doesn't have the powers. You have the powers to call anybody at will and invoke Article 125, and this is what it says. If a minister, Article 125, Mr. Speaker, Article 125 says, either House of Parliament and any of its committees has powers to summon any person to appear before it for the purpose of giving evidence or providing information. That's Article 125 of the Constitution. 2, it says, for purposes, clause 1. 1 second, Mr. Speaker.
Fair enough, Honorable Kainan.
1 second.
The chair has taken note of that. This is an allotted date for a finance bill. And it's order, Honorable Finance, please take a seat.
The last bit of this particular article is what I wanted to read. It says, for purpose of clause 1, a House of Parliament or any of its committees has the same powers as the High Court to enforce the attendance of witness and examine them on oath, affirmation, or otherwise. B, it says to compel the production of documents. And C, to issue a commission or request and examine the same wherever they are. And so if you read that with the Powers and Privileges Act, which I was the sponsor, clearly, my good friend here, the power is in your hand. Compel, bring the information to the House.
Order, Honorable Kenan, your point is taken. Can you give a firm undertaking on when you will have that answer in the House?
Honorable Speaker, I'm not just a chairman. I lead a very powerful committee.
Yes.
I did not say that I'm frustrated to get the response.
Out of nowhere, yes.
It has taken a bit more of time than I expected.
Yes.
Honorable Speaker, when we finish this morning session, I will personally walk into the Ministry of Diaspora, State Department of Diaspora. I will have the response this afternoon.
Perfect. Very well undertaken. Next order. Honorable member, order. Next order. Next order. Next order. I've directed. Wamboka, what you don't understand. Order. You have a problem because you are trying to learn the rules and the way this thing is managed without listening. And it has been responded. Which your statement? Can you raise it then in the order? Not now. Order. I have called for the next order. Approach the chair and pick up another appropriate moment. Next order.
Order number 8, the Finance Bill, National Assembly Bill number 26 of 2026.
Honorable members, for your information, the primary role of a House, a National Assembly, is to pass government finance bills. Listen, you have to understand everything else. So when you are on the finance bill, then you make sure that you give maximum time. But the moment you're out of the finance bill, you can come back. Ours is based on the Westminster system, which is called the House of Commons. And the finance bill takes precedence over anything else and everything else, including what you are seeking right now. So let us be through with this, and then you can come and take up. Thank you. Who was on the chair? Who was on the ground?
I was.
No, Mule. Honorable Mule.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity to contribute to the Finance Bill 2026. Mr. Speaker, on the onset, I want to state very clearly, I oppose this bill in totality due to the following reasons in different clauses. Mr. Speaker, yesterday we were treated to a drama whereby some members wanted us to give reasons why we are opposing the bill. Mr. Speaker, I want to remind the House there are 5 important key issues to be canvassed in the finance bill. That is raising revenue, providing incentive to investors, protecting the public on harmful products, protecting investors, enforcing compliance in tax collection. The bill contains various acts which we need to deal with, and that's why I want to dwell on, Mr. Speaker. That is the Income Tax, VAT Act, Excise Duty Act, Tax Procedure Act, Miscellaneous Finance Levies, and other related acts, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, to begin with, I want to dwell on the issue of income tax, Part 2, Clause 2B, expansion of definition of management of professional fee, included card-based payment. Mr. Speaker, why we are opposing to this clause, the bill proposes to expand the definition of management and professional fee in the charge fee and merchant service fee, which raises the card-based payment. On that regard, Mr. Speaker, this cost translate will go vitality, which as a country we cannot afford to raise any other taxes on it, and therefore I oppose the bill in totality. Clause, Mr. Speaker, on the same breath of income tax, Clause 3, Section 5, which restricts tax expansion on gratuity payment to employees serving for the last 3 years. Mr. Speaker, this is a dangerous clause in this bill, which will definitely, Mr. Speaker, affect any employee who is having a contract which is less than 3 years. And Mr. Speaker, disadvantaging that Kenyan to receive his benefit after this proposal. Mr. Speaker, I want to urge members in this House, we are not just dealing with a proposed finance bill, we are dealing with the life of Kenyans, and therefore, due to this clause, Mr. Speaker, we don't have any other option to support this bill, but reject it unless this clause is amended. Mr. Speaker, let's proceed to Clause 7 of the same bill, which introduced withholding, winning, and with odd tax on winning on any rate of 20% for both resident and non-resident, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, our youth in this country are engaging into different competition globally. They are engaging in different activities globally. This clause denies the young people in this country the opportunity to get what is right for them by introducing the withholding tax. So, Mr. Speaker, and I want to urge our colleagues, these are clauses which we need to reject to make sure that at least the young people in this country get their right fair share. Also, this reduces the income of the better establishment of the youth and the blue economy the Kenya Kwanza government has been talking about. I cannot understand the Kenya Kwanza government. They are saying they are pro-youth. They are saying they want to encourage the youth. They are saying that they want to make the youth of this country have money in their pocket. This clause 7, Mr. Speaker, denies the youth of this country that opportunity, and that's why I call for the rejection of the Finance Bill 2026. Mr. Speaker, clause 16 of the same bill introduces a 60% minimum threshold of deemed dividend on undistributed profits, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the bill proposes to tighten the deemed dividend rules by requiring that at least 60% of the company undistributed profit be treated as dividend if the profits are not distributed within 12 months, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is the same government which is trying to encourage people to get into business. Yet they are introducing a clause whereby the profit of the company are being directed how they need to be distributed. This will force business to redistribute dividend against their investment policy, and dividends are retained in the business for expansion, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if you have a business today and you have some profits which have not been divided within the company, that money goes back, is plowed back to the company to make sure that the company grows. Mr. Speaker, with this clause 16, we cannot afford any more at any time and any chance to support this bill, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there is a change of clause 18 and 19 in the same bill. Change in due date of filing taxes. Mr. Speaker, I don't want to dwell on that. Yesterday it was talked about, and Mr. Speaker, I can assure you, the change of date of filing taxes will definitely have an effect on work on audit funds, and may result to errors whereby people will start hiding the money the same government is looking for. These are clauses which calls for me to reject the bill. Mr. Speaker, clause 22. Removal of preferable withholding tax rate for East African citizens on dividends. Mr. Speaker, the removal of this concession will increase tax burden across border investment within East Africa region, which impacts the attractiveness of Kenyans to be a destination of investment. Mr. Speaker, as we sit here, we are complaining that Tanzania has better investment attraction. Uganda has better investment attraction. Rwanda has better attraction investment regime. Mr. Speaker, if clause 22 is implemented as it is in the bill, I can assure you we are going to lose more investors to our neighboring, and Kenya will still be a laughing stock to investors because of this clause. So, Mr. Speaker, we call for the rejection of this bill in totality, or we do amendments to them. Mr. Speaker, let me go to part 3 of the bill, which is value-added tax, Mr. Speaker. Clause 28 of the bill, extension of waiting period of VAT refunds and bad debts under Section 31 of the VAT Act. Mr. Speaker, the VAT Act currently allows taxpayers to claim refund on bad debt where the debt has remained unpaid for less than 2 years, Mr. Speaker, for supply, provide the claim with which is made within 10 years. Mr. Speaker, this will deem business funds for investment, Mr. Speaker. The same logic, Mr. Speaker, the Kenya Kwanza government thinks about creating an environment, bring a clause like this, which is killing Kenyan business in Kenya today, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, with clause 28 of the part 3 of the bill, we call for the rejection of Finance Bill 2026, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, under the same part 3 of VAT Act, which is clause 29, expansion of tax invoices reassurance requirement under section 42 of the VAT Act. This section requires only VAT registered person to issue a tax invoice for purchase of the again as members to reject this bill. This may be resort to heavy burden on compliance on small, medium enterprises, killing the same business, business, Mr. Speaker. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, is the issue of items being moved from zero rating to exemption, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we have seen items being moved from zero rating to exemption, which has an effect on the moving of items from exemption will
the member for Kabuchai. And members, anyone who has no card, please go get a card and then log in.
You are doing well.
And allow me, as the chair of this session, to follow this order in the order at which you logged in.
Yes. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, today is a very important day for Kenya. It is a day, Mr. Speaker, that Kenyans are alert everywhere, because what the decision we are going to make in this House, Mr. Speaker, affects their life in its entirety, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, having gone through all this bill, when I tried to align with the roadside advertisements, the Speaker pronouncements by the head of state that is going to take care of that people who earn 30,000 and below. 30,000 below. 1.5 million workers in this country, Mr. Speaker. Those aspirations, Mr. Speaker, is not taken care of here. I've gone through it. If this government wants to walk the talk, 1.5 million Kenyans who get 30,000 below have a dependency rate of 10 million who rely on them, Mr. Speaker. If it is not found here, this is the only tax law that comes to this House for us to pass. No one, including the minister, no one, including the director, can propose a tax law without this House passing the tax law, Mr. Speaker. So we are here, Mr. Speaker, to actually find out if it is not here, this thing must be thrown and rejected in totality. Yes. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, when you go to it,
Honorable Majimbo, order. There is a point of order.
Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, I rise on the point of order, Honorable Speaker, on matters relevance. Honorable Speaker, what we are discussing today here is the report by the Finance Committee that is already before us. We are not discussing what is not in the report by the Finance Committee, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the issues raised by the Honorable Member for Kabuchai, that pronouncements were made by His Excellency the President somewhere in the roadside. It is the responsibility of this House to legislate, Honorable Speaker. It is not the head of state to legislate, Honorable Speaker. If he made his pronouncements there, at the point we will bring them here, Honorable Speaker, we will have an opportunity. We will have an opportunity to discuss.
Take your seat.
Honorable Speaker,
take your seat.
Honorable Speaker, you will not allow head class, Honorable Speaker. This is a House of
Take your seat.
Honorable Speaker, this is a House of
Take your seat. Take your seat, Honorable Soro. Order. The Honorable Majimbo. The Honorable Jack Wamboka. This House will listen to the Honorable Majimbo in silence. Yes. The Honorable Majimbo will remain order. The Honorable Majimbo will remain relevant in his submissions to ensure, because there's no law. And you know it very well. We are not in the old constitution. We have a new constitution that give parliament powers. We don't order. We do not need the president to do anything for us to discuss any matter in this House. It belongs elsewhere, and you know that very well. So let's maintain decorum, and I expect all of us to be decorous in this morning.
Mr. Speaker, I don't want to be tempted, because I'm a very good singer. I don't want to be tempted to sing the song that Kenyans sang for Honorable Soro in Kusi Stadium. because it touches on his private part. Mr. Speaker, when we come to this bill, Mr. Speaker, exactly, Mr. Speaker, Part A, Section 1, number 169, Mr. Speaker, which touches on mitumba in Kiswahili. In English, Mr. Speaker, it is written here as worn clothings and other worn articles. Worn clothings. Mr. School property. We know when you cannot claim any tax on it, then you will pass it to the consumer. That is what we, Mr. Speaker, the price of mitumba will increase. This House, Mr. Speaker, does not, Mr. Speaker, we must be honest on what we are bringing here with the members of this country. Mr. Speaker, when I come to, Mr. Speaker, we are reading, Mr. Speaker, and you are seeing me referring to every clause. Mr. Speaker, when you come to the non-resident landlord, Mr. Speaker, that article here, Mr. Speaker, they say that actually the imposition of non-resident rental income tax. Mr. Speaker, you realize that here it says that actually a tax to be known as non-residential rental income tax shall be payable by that non-resident person at the rate specified in the third schedule. Mr. Speaker, when you go in the third schedule, and I've gone to the very properly here, the third schedule, Mr. Speaker, the only relative close to that is Mr. Speaker, the only clause that is close to that, Mr. Speaker, is C1. C1, Mr. Speaker. And on C1 it says, in respect of a rent premium or similar considerations for the use of occupation or removable property, 30%, Mr. Speaker, is payable. We want this committee to tell us, before the 30% that is imposing, what was that percentage before? It was 7%. Where the tenants were withholding, they are withholding the money for the purpose of KRA. It was 7%. In this document, Mr. Speaker, we imposed 30%. 30%, Mr. Speaker, means what? If you are paying rent of 10,000, Mr. Speaker, you will have to submit 3,000, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Soro, allow the Honorable Majimbo to finish his submission. You'll respond to him. You'll respond to him. Go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, I will further inject, Mr. Speaker. When I'm injecting this sense, Mr. Speaker, the whole nation is watching us. This House is making the law for posterity. We must put Kenyans in their right position. And, Mr. Speaker, Kenyans are not fools. When they watch and we read here, and we say that we have not imposed any tax on mitumba, here on the floor of the House, and yes, it's put here in clause 169, Mr. Speaker, this puts us in a very awkward position. If, Mr. Speaker, I heard well, the minister also reiterated that those Kenyans who earn 30% and below, 30,000 and below, 30,000 and below, they were going to be exempted from pay as you earn tax. Mr. Speaker, any law that deals with the tax must be brought here. And it must be put in here. It is nowhere. We are saying, and that's why, Mr. Speaker, we are saying, we are telling this government, Mr. Speaker, to be a one-term government. It is going to be one-term government because, Mr. Speaker, it doesn't carry the aspirations of the Kenyans. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, I want to request as follows, because I know all of us are emotive. Let us be factual. You know, I'm listening to Honorable Majimbo, and he refers to clause 169. And you know it's not there. So, order, just sit down. I will, every member in this House will have their say. In fact, I want to request the following, that because all of us want to speak, if you could limit your intervention to 5-6 minutes, I don't want to control it myself, so that every member is able to get a chance to speak. I'll be very happy. What I will not do, and I want members to be decorous, I'll not stop any member, whether they're opposing or proposing, from saying what they want to say. And that's why I want all of us to have our time And please maintain decorum. The next member on the line is Honorable Mark Mwenje.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. First of all, Honorable Speaker, I rise to raise some very serious issues against this finance bill, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, one of the issues that I have is Section 35, Honorable Speaker, of this finance bill. Honorable Speaker, this specific section imposes excise duty on cell phones, which seems to have moved from the point of importation to the point of activation. Now, Honorable Speaker, one of the issues that I have with this is that the government is not losing any money. Why are we changing from the point of importation where you pay duty on 50 cell phones, but at the point of activation when it's limited to a specific cell phone? My concern, Honorable Speaker, is with the Commissioner, because at the point of activation, then you tie this phone to a specific person, and there is a because you've not defined, and Honorable Speaker, you as a lawyer and yourself, you know that if you don't provide a definition of this activation, what will be put there? What if you put in a spyware? What if at a certain point you can shut down a specific cell phone belonging to specific someone? So, Honorable Speaker, for me, this Section 35, I don't see the point to it, because to me the money is the same. So why are you changing it? Honorable Speaker, Section 45, this is on the Tax Procedures Act. Now, this one I don't want to belabor it because it was spoken about yesterday, the issue of agency notice, Honorable Speaker. And I just want, I hope the chair would be here, but the administration of fair hearing is a constitutional right. Even if you delete that provision, even if you amend it, the majority leader was here, Honorable Kaluma, they were very specific on how they think this has been abused. But it doesn't matter, it's been provided for under the Constitution. So even if you delete this provision, I can assure you somebody will go to court and this whole thing will collapse. So we might as well not play around with something that we both know is going against the Constitution, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, under Section 23, in the same act, Honorable Speaker. Now, this is on capital gains tax. Now, the threshold, whenever you have a transaction that derives value in Kenya, usually for capital gains tax is at the point of where you reach a threshold of 50%, Honorable Speaker. That is the standard within East Africa and quite a number of African countries. Now, this is lowering it with this amendment to almost 1%. If you look at our income tax, it provides it at about 20%. So, to me, what you will do is that you'll make all these investors who come to Kenya and at times are exempt from this capital gains tax because the value gained in Kenya does not achieve the 50% threshold. All these people are going to go to our neighbors. So who's losing? So all those investment firms in Kenya, all those law firms that are working here, all those funds that work in Kenya, the insurance companies, all those are going to start losing business right here in Kenya. Now, Mr. Speaker, one of the things that yesterday, if you'll remember, and once again, I'm happy the Honorable Ruto was here because I believe he mentioned this issue. Taxes should be predictable. That's what the chair said yesterday. And any accountant, anyone who is in the tax regime says that taxes should be predictable. It means 5-10 years. Anybody investing in Kenya should have an idea how the tax regime is going to be. Now tell me this, Honorable Speaker. 1.5% withholding tax on scrap metal, which the Honorable Mbadi, when he was highlighting the budget, mentioned right here. It's in this bill. Explain to me, Honorable Speaker, how predictable it is to impose a tax in 2024, to remove it in 2025, to bring it back in 2026. How predictable is that? In 3 years, you've changed the tax 3 times. Now, let me tell you what's going to happen. Some of these companies, Honorable Speaker, for me, I'm talking even about my constituency. One of the largest steel-making companies, Tonoka, is in my constituency. What it means is that they will have to start reducing the number of people who are working there. So it directly impacts the jobs that are there, Honorable Speaker. And I'll explain as I move forward, Honorable Speaker. Now, when it comes to raw materials, which I also used. The Honorable Speaker, allow me actually to talk about coal first. We've now imposed 5% excise duty on coal, which some cement companies, some steel companies use. Now, that means, first of all, you should all know, coal is not available in Kenya. We import it. We import coal. So, in Kenya, now, at the current rate, we are at 9.5%. Uganda is at 1.5%. Tanzania, consider what has been happening, because, Honorable Speaker, coal is used as a substitute for energies. So at times, and you know the fuel prices, Honorable Speaker, some of my companies which have been using diesel, one of these companies in my constituency, when electricity was lost for 2 days, they incurred a cost of 3 million. Electricity in 2 days. Fuel, one of my companies uses fuel about 248 liters of diesel per month for fuel in transport costs. So when diesel went up by 46 shillings, that's 11,408,000 per month. Now, even if that amount has reduced, you can prorate it. You can see the amount of expenses are there. And then you increase the cost of coal as well. Honorable Speaker, on raw materials, because raw materials, this has changed, especially in steel and other sectors. So there's a levy of about 17.5%. Now allow me to stick to the steel companies, Honorable Speaker. Local billets, manufactured locally, $650. Imported billets, $490. The wire rods in Kenya, the taxes that are charged, you've seen those wire rods all around, is 47% tax in Kenya. Billets is 22%. When we go to Uganda, 1.5% Uganda, 1.5% Tanzania, 1.9% in Rwanda. So what does this mean? Honorable Speaker, it means the construction industry, everything is going to go up. So even in the affordable housing that we are talking about, by increasing these taxes, those affordable houses, the cost of constructing those very affordable houses, the prices are going to go up. Now, what does this mean, Honorable Speaker? The companies that are operating in Kenya, the cement companies, the steel companies, what they've done is that they're opening small operations across the border in Uganda and Tanzania, and the companies in Kenya stop manufacturing and become trading companies. Honorable Speaker, 25 steel milling companies from Kenya have left and have gone to Tanzania and Uganda, including one company from my constituency called EMCO, and even steel structures that have now gone to trading rather than manufacturing. These are jobs that have been lost right here in Nairobi, right here in my constituency, and it's because of some of these taxes that are coming up. So that means, Honorable Speaker, some of our companies have now become trading companies. Honorable Speaker, there is a provision for ESC carve-out goods, Honorable Speaker. This ESC carve-out is for goods that have originated within the East Africa community. By removing this specific carve-out, Honorable Speaker, we are violating the very same treaties that we have with our East African countries. So we are violating bilateral agreements that we have with the East African community. That means very soon, some of the privileges we have with trading with Uganda, Tanzania, and Rwanda, this is going to change. So why should our finance bill violate the ESC carve-out that was agreed bilaterally between all these countries, Honorable Speaker? Honorable Speaker, the issue of zero rating and exempt, we need to clarify. You know, we sit here and we say, we've exempted you from tax, we've exempted you from this, we've exempted. Honorable Speaker, we all know zero rating is better than exempt. So if some of these imported clothes, worn out clothes, we've moved them from zero rating to exempt, it means you cannot claim input VAT. And this is where the devil in the details is. That means the cost of those Mutumba clothes will go up. Finally, Honorable Speaker, when it comes to these rental houses, I'm a member of Parliament from Nairobi. Embakasi West is full of rental houses, the entire constituency. Some of these people are foreigners. They are foreigners, they are non-residents, they are not here in Kenya. If you affect the cost of rental prices the way it's been discussed, it means you're increasing rents for all the people living in my constituency, Honorable Speaker. And for that reason, and many others, Honorable Speaker, dotted by the others, unfortunately, I cannot support this bill, and we'll be bringing a lot of amendments so that we can ensure we don't burden the Kenyans that are already
Thank you so much. Honorable members, I'm happy to listen to Honorable Mwanje because he spoke about 10 minutes without attacking anybody, without going outside script. He's done so well. If we did that, all of us, we'll have a very good debate. The Honorable Jack Wamboka, this is your chance.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to speak. But first, let me make this clear, that we will debate in the way we deem fit and necessary, as long as it conforms to the laws of this House. So nobody should lecture us, Honorable Speaker, how to align our debates, how to debate, and on that, Honorable Soro, keep quiet. Honorable Speaker, I rise to oppose the Finance Bill 2026 in its present form. And let me say from the outset what this debate, Honorable Speaker, is not about. It is not about whether the state needs money or not, Honorable Speaker. Of course it does. Roads have to be built, Honorable Speaker. Hospitals must be stocked. And you know my pet subject of teachers. Of course, teachers have to be paid, teachers have to be hired, and police, and so forth, Honorable Speaker. My quarrel with this bill, Honorable Speaker, is how the government wants to raise the revenue, Honorable Speaker. When you read it closely, and not just in the headline rates, but in the schedules where the real work is done, this is a bill that will make life more expensive to ordinary Kenyans. And it does so quietly, Honorable Speaker. It's like cancer. It eats you quietly, but ultimately you are destined for death, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, my single biggest problem with this bill is that it hides price increases inside technical tax languages. Its favorite trick is to move essential goods from zero-rated VAT to exempt VAT. To most Kenyans, these two words sound the same. And of course, it's very mischievous, Honorable Speaker, of the government. They are not the same. And the difference is money out of pocket of the Mwananchi. Honorable Speaker, when a good is zero-rated, the seller charges no VAT and still recovers the VAT paid on inputs. So the goods are truly free of the tax. When a good is merely exempt, the seller charges no VAT but cannot recover the VAT on inputs. So that tax becomes a cost of doing business and is passed on the consumers, who are the ordinary Kenyans, Honorable Speaker, and that is what we are saying. Life becomes more expensive. The life for Kenyans this time, this period, in this government has become more unbearable. So when the bill takes medicine manufacturing inputs, animal feed inputs, solar and lithium batteries, electricity buses, and even bicycles, Honorable Speaker, who uses bicycles? Are the common Mwananchi, the small people down there. Every big person can afford a car. Honorable Speaker, clean cooking stoves and locally assembled phones and moves them from zero-rated to exempt. It is quietly pushing costs onto the consumer. The Mwananchi will not see a new line on the receipt, but they will feel it at the counter. If you tax the inputs of medicine, medicine becomes more expensive. And that is healthcare, Honorable Speaker. Every government has a responsibility to ensure that it leads a citizenry that care goes up. And that is what we are saying, that this government must be relevant to the needs, day-to-day needs of the people, and that the cost of living goes up. And Honorable Speaker, we all represent Kenyans. It does not matter whether you represent a Kenya Kwanza government, a Kenya Kwanza citizen, or a Linda Mwananchi citizen, Honorable Speaker. A Kenyan citizen is a Kenyan citizen. Honorable Speaker, if you tax the inputs to clean energy, the family trying to leave charcoal and kerosene behind pays more. This is why I call this a cost of living bill. It does not shout. It does not raise headline VAT rate. It raises the cost of living through the back door. And honestly, Honorable Speaker, it kills slowly, but ultimately, Mwananchi goes down. I come from a sugarcane farming region, Honorable Speaker. And this now tax are applicable to sugarcane transportation. And Honorable Meli knows this, Honorable Speaker, because at the end of the day, if this one is introduced, Honorable Speaker, the manufacturers will pass this cost to the consumer, Honorable Speaker. We are still struggling with the prices, the tonnage prices that have been lowered by this government, Honorable Speaker. Whereas cost of living is going up, the tonnage, the cost of per ton, Honorable Speaker, for sugarcane is going down. Where on earth, Honorable Speaker? Where on earth? Only an insensitive government that does not respect itself goes through these things, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, finance bill should not punish people for buying the very goods that our own national policy tells them to buy. We cannot stand in this house and speak about universal health care, food security, and a green economy, and then pass tax measures that make health, food, and clean energy more expensive. This is not a revenue policy. This is a contradiction written into law, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I'm equally concerned that this bill taxes the digital economy in a way that lands hardest on small people. It pulls card payment fees, switching, clearing, and settlement system into a tax net in a way that raises the cost of electronic payment. These are not luxuries. These are the payment roads of a modern economy. The trader receiving money on a card machine, the shopkeeper, the young person paying online, the citizen paying for a government service on their phone, all of them travel these roads, Honorable Speaker. The state asks Kenyans to go digital, to formalize, to leave cash behind. It cannot in the same breath make the digital road more expensive, Honorable Speaker. Who uses this digital platform, Honorable Speaker? They are young people. These are young people who probably just sit at home, who make a living, Honorable Speaker, out of the digital platforms. Some of them work at night. So when you make it more expensive, whom are you punishing? You are punishing the very Mwananchi you promised that you will lift them from the bottom to up. And it has become now from bottom to bottom and to the bottomless bottom, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, and then there is a phone. The bill proposes a 25% excise duty on mobile phones, charged at the moment the phone is activated, Honorable Speaker. The phone is no longer a luxury in this country. And you know it. The phone may be a luxury to senior people in this country because you just need to call and receive. But for young people in this country, Honorable Speaker, the phone is a way to earn a living, Honorable Speaker. It is how a young person looks for a job, how a student learns and receives their notes, Honorable Speaker, work on their assignments, Honorable Speaker, how a farmer checks the market, how a mother sends money, how a citizen reaches e-citizen. To tax a phone at activation is to tax the very doorway into the modern economy. It will be felt by students, job seekers, border borders, by small traders, and by ordinary families. If the real concern is luxury handsets, Honorable Speaker, then tax the high-end taxes, Honorable Speaker, and leave alone these young people who cannot deal with the issues. Honorable Speaker, the question before us is, in the end, Honorable Speaker, A finance bill must raise finances in a manner that does not make life unbearable. In this case, Honorable Speaker, the finance bill that we are talking about makes life too difficult for every.
All members, you agree with me that I've given 4 chances this side uninterrupted. So I'll also give this side another 4 chances. Then we come back this side. And I have to be fair to the House. I must be fair to the House. And it doesn't matter what you do on that matter, because I've decided that's what we're going to do. So this side, we're going to have another 4, then 4 this side. So can I get from the list I have here, the first one on this side is Honorable Marianne Keitany.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I know they are usually used to me sitting at the front there. Today, I decided to sit next to Honorable Mukunji so that we can converse a little. Honorable Speaker, I stand to support the finance bill that is laid before us. And the first aspect I would like to bring on the finance bill is the issue of exempt and zero rating of certain items, especially the items like the locally assembled, manufactured mobile phones, electronic buses, lithium-ion batteries. The bill initially proposed that these items be moved from zero-rated to exempt, but the proposals that have been put on this bill is that these items will go back or will be reverted back to zero rating, because that proposal had been given in the Finance Act of 2023, and that therefore promotes this particular industry and ensures that these items continue to get more traction in the market, and therefore they become very affordable. The other issue I'd like to raise on this finance bill is the gratuity period that had been raised for people who are earning or who are on 3-year contracts. Initially, the bill proposed that gratuity be zero-rated for a gratuity be paid to be exempted for employees who are on gratuity or about it was open for everyone. But for now, we've said that gratuity be charged on employees who are on a 3-year contract. And this would then propose that even for those employees who are on a 1-year contract, that can be proposed in the Committee of the Whole House, that employees who are on a 1-year contract can also benefit from the gratuity. The other issue that I would like, and I like to bring out here, is the issue on the scrap metal. You know, scrap metal is an area that has been used to kill a lot of our infrastructure, mainly things to do with copper cables and those infrastructures that assist a lot in our electrification, rail. And there's a proposed a proposal of a 1.5 withholding tax on the sale of scrap metal materials. One, this is going to regularize the market so that all sales of scrap metal will then conform to what is happening in industry. But more importantly, it also secures the scrap metal.
Could we listen to the Honourable Member for Alda in reasonable silence?
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. The one thing that it also does is that it also ensures that the scrap metal revenue that is going to be benefited from scrap metal dealers, the income from it is going to be regularized, so that every person, every sales or every business then is able to pay taxes. And one thing, Honourable Speaker, that I notice is that many people don't want Kenyans to pay taxes.
phones, electric vehicles, have all of them be zero rated, but they are not being exempt because we don't want to burden Kenyans anymore. And this is something that everyone needs to know that. And this is a proposal that has been placed before us. And I'm asking members from this House to support the proposals of the committee. Honorable Speaker, we have business groups. They raised alarms that reaches 60% dividend distribution. There was a proposal in the tax bill that any dividends that has been raised by companies, if there is an issue that it is not distributed well, and the money that is remained was presumed to be profits, it will be taxed. But the committee made a very, very important decision to delete the whole of it. And I've seen members here holding on to something that has been deleted completely. I want us to know very well that the proposals that his house has made are for the Kenyans and for the good of Kenyans. And when we sit here as members of this house, we are not about to tax Kenyans on certain issues which are not there. Honorable Speaker, professional bodies raised a number of issues, and I want to say this. They strongly objected to the removal of the weekends, the public holidays, and all that on tax objections, and the committee listened to them. And those are some of the things that I want us to discuss and look into it. Madam Speaker, we have also the issue of zero rating the tax status for the green energy items, and I've said that, locally assembled vehicles, phones, and the rest. We have also the issue of adjusting the filing of deadlines to give individuals practical windows. Actually, this one was a very wise decision. It affects all of us. It affects Kenyans in every sector. And by reducing that, it does not put Kenyans on strict issue deadline, especially when you are filing your tax returns. Madam Speaker, we have also the issue of Section 29A to the Tax Procedures Act and safeguard legally requiring the Commissioner to fully disclose third-party data sources used in assessment. This one has actually been done away with. And this one actually was asking the members to really look at what the committee has done very well, so that as we critique and have a better finance bill for the House, we have a balanced view and tell Kenyans. It is not about this House to incite Kenyans and tell them things that are not in the finance bill and things which have already been corrected by the committee. It has been corrected by members. Already we have proposals to make sure that what the House is going to arrive at and vote for is a finance bill that is going to spur the growth of the economy, to spur the growth of businesses, to make sure that we get the revenues which are actually within range. We are not going to have things that are out of... Lastly, Madam Speaker, we have the committee deleted the punitive proposal on mid-dispute agency notices to robustly defend taxpayers' constitutional rights to fair justice. I want the House to really have this very clearly, that the committee decided that we need to remove punitive proposals on dispute agency notices. Those ones are actually going to affect the taxpayers. And we as members of this House, we are here to defend a taxpayer, and we are also to ensure that this finance bill, which we have it here, is going to make sure that the taxpayer is going to operate in a very fair, in a very